All right, we are live here, a live reaction of the Bears' second-round picks. Myself, Kevin Lapka, familiar face here, alongside Justin Kaufmann. You already know him, part of Axios Chicago. He runs Chicago for Real. He's getting us started, or he got us started with Bears. Chicago for Real on Twitch. And you always love talking Bears, although you don't do it as much anymore. I know you love it. It's your favorite thing.
I'm the pessimist of the group. I will get into how I do not like this offseason, but I have hope springs eternal. I'm very optimistic tonight. Let's go.
Regardless of the pick, Justin's gonna hate it. Let me tell you right now. Regardless of who it is, he'll find a way to hate it. And we also got Kellen, who was kind enough last night to hop on and do a little recap of the first draft and how it affects the Bears. And now we are here in the second day now. Kellen, how are you excited? What are we thinking? How we feeling? Just about 20 minutes away from the Bears' first pick in the second round.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of the same, right? We're excited, but we're nervous just because we don't want them to mess it up, right? We're in such a fragile moment, right? We all feel that we finally got the franchise quarterback, where we got the new coaching regime, the new front office, right? There's a lot of good things that we felt have happened. Now we want to see it put in action because we're kind of waiting, right? We like Ryan Poles. We think he's got a good vision, but everything's been very not, aggressive so far. Amen. Pickens will be a Bear. Let's hope so. But, everything's been, we're waiting for next year, right? We're waiting for next year. Trading Khalil Mack, letting go of all the defensive linemen we talked about, right? Allen Robinson is gone. James Daniels is gone. There's a lot of guys on the football team last year that were not here. So a lot of things are going to have to happen. And hopefully tonight is a good first step toward the right direction.
This team, Kevin, is a team that you always hear this when a team is good and they say, best player available. Well, in the case of the Bears, it's the other way around. It's everywhere you look, there are holes on this roster. So it really is best player available. If they went and got a linebacker, I'd be okay with it. If they went and got a safety, I'd be okay with it. There are so many holes that I don't think you have to knee-jerk into one specific position in the first two picks here. The question is whether or not they're going to move back. That's going to be the question. And I have a feeling Ryan Poles is going to do that because listening to him and I don't know if I don't want to be pessimistic.
Here comes the pessimism. Here it comes already.
But his whole thing.
I haven't made a pick yet.
I know.
Made a pick yet.
Well, we were very excited as Bears fans for this offseason, right? We were talking, even with the trade with Khalil Mack, everyone was like, okay, what does that mean? Are we gonna bring some other people in? And all we've seen is really just and I hate to say it this way, but a modern day tank. They're bringing players in that are on 1-year contracts for a rebuild, and so. This is an important night for us because these are going to be the players that they rebuild around. So it can be anybody. Personally, I like the linebacker from Georgia. Let's go with the linebacker from Georgia. If he can drop 6 spots or whatever here,
I don't know.
I'm good.
I don't know if Kobe Dean can fall that far. But, don't get it twisted. I think any of the players that the Bears can get at 39 could be first-round talents. And Kellen will tell you that for sure. Absolutely. And specifically in the first 15, even a majority of the second round, you get guys who are first-round talents who fell because of injury, fell because of, whether it be character issues like a George Pickens, who is a first-round talent but has fallen because of outside factors like character issues. So when you talk, Justin, about the gravity of this night, you're correct because these are your first-round picks. These are the first guys taken in the draft, and they mean a lot to the foundation of your franchise for the next 5 years. So and let's address this comment here from Elena talking about, it would be on brand to pick an injured Ojabo. It would be. And, I have them picking an injured player as we watch someone in a straight
being dangled.
Being dangled from because this is very Las Vegas, isn't it?
So Vegas.
Let's do a million.
Read the room, Vegas. Read the room. Get to the draft. Let's go.
Yeah, we got a show to do here. I don't know what this guy's doing. He's twisted in the air.
Looks ridiculous. I will say this. The thing with Ryan Poles is that he said over and over and time again he wants to build through the draft. He likes the hometown vibe. He said it over and over and over. So he's not going to go get splashy free agents. He also builds in the trenches. And I like that concept. I'm a football fan and I understand that, but I'm afraid these aren't going to be sexy picks. I think they're going to be like the offensive lineman from Western State, Michigan, to AT&T. You'll be like, what? Who's this guy? And there'll be a lot of that. And they'll be like, we got to build. It could be if that three tech from I think he was from I don't remember what Houston is around.
Logan Hall.
Yeah,
Logan Hall.
If like that kind of stuff. Those are the kind of guys that Ryan Poles is like, oh. And the George Pickens and the corners and the safeties, they're probably like, flashy guys. We can see if we can get Prince Amukamara from retirement to come out and play corner, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. I think you're right though. I do have this feeling that this isn't going to be a very glamorous draft. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it could be wrong. Like if the George Pickens is a very glamorous player, Christian Watson is still a very glamorous player. And I think when you mean by non-glamorous players, you're talking about interior offensive linemen, big bodies up front of the trenches that people aren't familiar with, because the past few days, all we've been hearing are wide receiver names, cornerback names, Roger McCreary, George Pickens, Sky Moore if he falls, Christian Watson, Jalen Tolbert, John Mechie, all these
Petre, the safety for Baylor.
That's my guy. That's last night when Kyla and I recorded. I said I brought out the crystal ball. I said let's bring him in. And you know what? And before we get started here, as they continue the ridiculous number of antics as they do every single time before the draft. Okay, the Bucs are officially on the clock. Kellen has made the case that. You mentioned it too, Justin, that this is, we talk about the needs so much about this team right now, that, the needs being cornerback and wide receiver specifically, and maybe guard, but, there's not really a lot available there right now. But Kellen says no matter what, there's a lot of talented players left. It's best player available approach. Kellen, are you still standing with that ahead of the Bears pick in about 20 minutes?
Yeah, man. I think when you reach for need, that's when you find guys that are busts. You look at it. I hate to bring up Cole Kmet again, but that's what we did in 2020, right? That was a need pick, and not that Cole Kmet is bad, but that was a need pick, right? He was not the best player available. Antoine Winfield was still on the board. Obviously, we got Jalen Johnson later. Thank God we did. I just thought there were some good players that were ahead of him, and some guys that were drafted after him that didn't work out. I was a Denzel Mims guy, and Denzel Mims has not worked well. So, this is a time you got to trust your board. Ryan Poles, the front office, the work that they've put in, the amount of time they spent in the meetings. This is a time you got to trust yourself, trust your process, and trust your eyes. That's all this is. And if a trade back does present itself, take a look at it. You don't have to automatically accept it, automatically decline it. You don't have all day to think about it. You're on the clock for only 7 minutes. But everything should be on the table for them.
Did you see the Tribune article yesterday that was talking to Ryan Poles? He said they did a whole thing about the Cincinnati Bengals last year, and he was like watching what they were going to do. And he said that he would have picked Sewell, the offensive tackle, instead of Jamar Chase.
Oh, really?
And he did a whole thing about it, saying, "I would." Yeah, he said I would have picked him not right away. He's like, they got to protect Joe Burrow, and that's the problem I have with this general manager. Is I'm like, yeah, but Jamar Chase got him to a Super Bowl. And I'm not saying he specifically did, but they were able to find offensive linemen later in the draft that ended up starting for the Bengals. But the Bengals were able to take that leap, and Joe Burrow was about to take that leap because Jamar Chase came with him. And so that's the part where I'm like, yeah, we're going to build some foundation, put some tent poles in the ground, but I'm not sure. The thing I say about safety or corner, right? If they go right now with a 39 pick and they get one of the safeties or corners you mentioned, automatically with Eddie Jackson and Jalen Johnson, that becomes a formidable team. Like that becomes a secondary that is probably one of the better secondaries in the NFC North. And that's what you got to think about right here. If you pick a guy as an offensive tackle, does the line automatically become the best line? I'm not sure about that. If you do a 3-tech, does the defensive line become I'm not sure. But man, if you can score on a corner or you score on a safety, and now you've got a secondary that can rock, that can ball hawk, that can play in Eberflus's system. Now I'm listening. Now I'm watching. Yeah.
And that's where, you talk about the impact of a head coach on these decisions. I mean, those things are real. And of course, the head coach is supposed to, be the leader of both sides of the team. But, Eberflus wants to build the type of defense he wants to build here. And they haven't done that through free agent. I mean, they've gotten a quick player, Nicholas Morrow, a guy who's, a faster linebacker. And they got his guy from Indianapolis, Al-Qadim Muhammad, a guy who he's familiar with. But I could totally see Eberflus sitting there at 39 saying, hey, if you have one of these really strong safeties or cornerbacks available, whether that's Brisker or Petrie or McCreary or Kyla Gordon if he falls, or maybe Andrew Booth, who Kellen really likes, then I could see Eberflus saying, hey, I want this guy for my defense. We become a better defensive team immediately if you give me this guy. And Ryan Poles says, hey, we're doing this together. Fine, I'll listen to you. Let's go take this guy. But, the bottom line is, whether you want to deny it or not, wide receiver is the biggest need on the team. And the philosophy throughout, this whole process back in January when Ryan Poles was hired was, hey, we need to do everything we can this year, not just in the years upcoming, this year to provide Justin Fields and put him in the best situation possible, because they know how important the development of a second-year quarterback is and how important it is for that quarterback, especially a guy like Justin who didn't have the greatest year statistically, to take that leap year 2. They can't do that right now with the current personnel that they have. I don't care what you think about Luke Getsy's offense and what you think about, like, don't get me wrong. Whether Luke Getsy is amazing or terrible, it's 3 tiers above Matt Nagy.
Could you get a lot? I mean, look what they did with Darnell Mooney. Could you get a 4th or 5th round pick? They don't have a 4th, right? But if they could,
I think they're going to get
5th round pick. Could they get a receiver who's a 3? And could you count?
That's how you make money in the NFL, man. Yeah, you got to find.
Could you count out
guy.
Pringle being a 2?
I mean, right now
Pringle's
you are.
the 2 going into the season. Yeah, I mean I hope he's not, but
yeah,
you know.
I would like to see. I'm such a homer. I'm such a Chicago homer. I'm like some of those defensive players. You're like, yes, and then you just forget about the offense completely. I want ass kickers. I want Roquan with someone paired with him from Georgia who's an ass kicker, right? And then you're like, holy cow, this is fun to watch. This is great. 3 and out. So what? Let's get the defense back on the field.
I mean, that's what we're so used to, right? We're so used to that quick 3 and out defense got to make a play. But, I mean, if you look at defensive players, if the Bears do take one, I know there's going to be an outcry from Bears fans immediately when they take a defensive player simply because it's a defensive player. And they're saying, where the hell is the offense? But you have to remember, this team in last year, in the past few years, honestly, ever since 2018, has not been getting enough takeaways to win you football games. And last year it was abysmal. I mean, you're not winning 10 football games in a year, getting, the lowest amount of takeaways in the NFL. Takeaways win football games. Kellen will tell you that better than anyone as a quarterback, and they need to find a player. And that's what Matt Eberflus is brought in to do. He's brought in to say, hey, we're getting takeaways every single possession. That's our goal. We're going to go for takeaways. That's what he did in Indianapolis. That's the philosophy of his defense. So if you look for the defensive player that they go after, it is going to be a guy who has a knack for the football, in my opinion, a guy who goes after the ball, who's an attacking defender. So the Buccaneers pick is in. Who do you think's going here?
I think offense. I think they have to figure out. I mean, Godwin's back, right? I mean, I don't even know where they would go at this point. Or maybe offensive line. Didn't they lose a couple of guys there?
They lost Marpet. There's some chatter about running back with Breece Hall from Iowa State.
Right. They're going to pick the Georgia linebacker. What are we kidding?
It's not a position of need, though. I mean, they got Shaq Barrett. They've got Levante David. I'd be really surprised. There has been chatter about Malik Willis.
They need a quarterback, right?
Brady. To sit behind, because God knows when he'll retire again.
Smart idea.
Here's Simeon Rice, who's presenting the pick.
Oh, that's great. And that's annoying,
Who's presenting our second rounder? It's Matt Forte. Matt Forte is presenting it.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
That's cool. Logan Hall. All right. So the Bucs take Logan Hall.
That's great. That's a great call. Logan Hall is a monster.
That is a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, if he was available for the Bears, I would be like, maybe this is a guy that replaces, the botched free agent that they tried to get from Cincinnati. Here comes some trades stuff here.
Yeah.
Shane, we're not checking Twitter right now, so I guess you have to be our insider for the show. The Packers have traded up, it appears. So let me.
They're on the clock now.
Are they on the clock right now?
They're on the clock now.
What's up with the NFC North and trading within the division?
Yeah,
that's the second time.
Did it with the Vikings.
All right, okay, guys. I'm sorry, Bears fans. I'm so sorry. It's George Pickens. I'll bet you $1 million that this is George Pickens right now.
It's either Pickens or Watson.
But why?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a good thing for Bears fans because, the thing about George Pickens is he's got a little bit of baggage with him. And frankly, I'm happy that he's going to go play there because I hope that their number one option is a rookie. I really do. I hope that is what Aaron Rodgers has to throw to as opposed to, what Devontae Adams turned into. So I'm okay with that.
It's the second round. Now we can go after the receiver.
Shane says the new Vikings GM is getting fleeced. I wonder what the package is for this trade right here.
The pick is already in, so they didn't. They take any time. The Packers already got it in. They're like, they know who's
Malik Willis. It's gonna be Nakobe Dean just because the Packers aren't gonna take an offensive guy. It's gonna be Nakobe Dean.
That would be something to bring him into Green Bay. Although
imagine it's Sky Moore.
I was gonna say this feels like a Sky Moore pick. This feels like a Sky Moore
pick. Someone turn on the Pat McAfee show. Where's Rodgers? All right, so now one other thing to keep our eye on. I would say Kelly and I were talking about the possibility of a quarterback trade last night, and I was looking at it again. The Seahawks hold the 2 picks after the Bears at 40 and 41, and then there's some other team, and then there's the Falcons at 43. Don't be surprised if the Bears trade 39 to the Falcons. If the Falcons want to trade up, jump the Seahawks for Malik Willis, because both of those teams need a quarterback, a younger guy who they can trust going forward. So that's something to keep your eye on. But man, this is crazy, man. The Packers are trying to get their guy, and it's just, who is it going to be?
Any receiver that they have.
The best defense is good offense, is Tom Matucci. Typically, so do.
What's up, Tom? Good to see you last night, man. I saw Tom last night.
Tom is right, because you know what the object of the game is to score more points than the other team. Now, a defensive coordinator will tell you if they don't score, they don't win. But those people, they don't matter. Their opinion doesn't matter. You need more points than the other team. That's how the game is played. And it's how basketball is played now. It's how football is played. It's how baseball is played now. I don't know hockey, but I've probably right. It's probably how hockey is played. You got to have more points than the other team does at the end of the game. That's
how I love that. I'm sure that's how hockey's played. I don't know.
The Blackhawks haven't been good in a minute, so there's no reason to watch hockey.
No, the Blackhawks ain't going to be good in a minute either. They're in rebuild.
That's unfortunate, man.
So who's it going to be?
Here it is.
It's going to be Pickens, right? I mean, they wouldn't have moved.
I don't know.
I mean, the only other thing I could think about was being a linebacker, but.
Is that Aaron Jones?
It's Aaron Jones.
Why is he wearing a sombrero?
Classic appropriation. Way to go, Aaron.
Yeah, great job.
Great job, Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
I'm good with that. I think he's a good player. He's a good player, but I'm good with that.
You talk about high ceiling, potential to be a bust. Like, you want to talk about potential to be a bust? It's there.
Yeah,
honestly.
Shane, you could tell us. It'd be great to tell. It's all right. As I told these guys, it's hard with all the streaming going on. Some people see it early, some people see it late. So yeah, if you know the information, tell us. We're not trying to break news to you guys. That's an interesting play. I mean, it doesn't feel to me like that's a number one receiver. I mean, he's a good receiver and he got a lot of high marks, but seems like a guy that is a stretch. He's almost like the guy who the Bears got. What's the guy who the three-name guy that the Bears now have? St. Brown or Scanling?
Equinemius St. Brown.
Yeah, this idea that they need a guy to stretch the field so they can do those little under routes that the Packers do so well. And this is the guy that does that, right?
Yeah.
The Bears, their objective needs to get like 2 first downs per drive, right? None of these 3 and outs putting your defenses in bad situations, right? And I like the idea. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't really have anything to do with this pick. I just, as far as like the Getsy mindset goes, and that LaFleur, Shanahan, all of that, right? Like, get a first down. That needs to be in the mind of the quarterback. As far as the pick goes, does it move?
Let me tell you what I saw from Christian. Yeah, I mean, Cal, I'll tell you what I saw from Christian Watson. This is a guy who plays in the FCS, plays in North Dakota State. The Titans made their pick almost instantly, so that's interesting. I imagine they might go into Kobe Dean. What I saw from Christian Watson was, there's a whole lot of catch the ball and run away from defenders who weren't collapsing on him. And I don't know if that was was due to the fact that he's playing in the FCS, where defenses aren't as quick, I didn't see a whole lot of insane route running. I didn't see a lot of great separation on his routes. I didn't see, that, like, a lot of his highlights when I watched it was, okay, Christian Watson catches the ball and outruns everyone else on the defense. And I'm like, okay, but there's also open space to run. Like, I'm not seeing Christian Watson, juke a million players and find his way to the end zone, even like a Calvin Austin does. And Christian Watson has the potential to be a good player. I think with coaching and with development and with Aaron Rodgers on his team, that'll help too. But when you talk about a really raw player and how do you evaluate a guy properly playing in the FCS, I think those things have to be taken into consideration. So that was what I saw from Christian Watson. That's why I didn't have him as high on my board. I'm not just saying these things about Christian Watson because the Packers drafted him. He was not high amongst my wide receivers. Like, I'd rather take Calvin Austin instead of him. But Kel, off your evaluation of Watson, do you see those same things?
Yeah. There are positions where tape matters so much more than, whatever you played. If your tape is good, it's fine, right? It doesn't matter who you played against. But Christian Watson didn't face a lot of the strong press coverage. We talked about it last night. Roger McCreary, that's an all right pick, I guess.
Wow, Roger McCreary. That's early.
This is I hate to interrupt here, but this is interesting because it's the Jets are next. I thought the Giants were next. Did they trade out here? They just said they put up that the Jets are next. I thought the Giants were next. They changed
Jets
it up.
did trade up. I think my friend just texted me, said they traded up.
So the Jets traded up. So that's what I'm not. The head coach there is a defensive-minded guy, and the San Francisco defensive coordinator who's, obviously going to be thinking about defense there. So I'm afraid that our dreams of the Georgia linebacker falling might end at the 36th pick here.
That's
if we're scooping Twitter, the Jets have taken Breece Hall.
That's a bad pick.
The Jets move up to take a running back.
See, but the Giants just flipped. The Giants just went down 2 spots. They just so that trade was nothing. So the Giants are still 1 in front of the Bears. And they said today on ESPN
the Giants are going to take Pickens.
Yeah, no,
the Giants.
They said that the Giants want that linebacker. They said the Giants want that. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, if Dean is on the board when the Bears pick and they don't pick him, I think Bears fans should be mad. Even if they're like an offensive lineman or they pick Pickens or whatever, I think that if that guy and that talent is there, Roquan Smith, same program they came from, they could be for the next 8 years, 10 years, they could be wreaking havoc there. I don't know how you pass on a guy like that, but we'll see. If he even gets there.
Austin Gale tweeted that his tweet basically says the Packers traded 53 and 59 to move up to get Christian Watson. Because that sounds about right. Because that was their 2 second-round picks. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully.
So they had 53. I see what you mean.
They had the Packers had 53 and 59. Gave it both up to move up to what was that 34? That was.
Why would the Vikings fans be mad at that? That's great.
That's great.
That is. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
I'd be down with that
because a fleece at all.
No. Or I guess it wouldn't be. Yeah, this would be second round.
Okay, so let's project here. So the Jets have taken Breece Hall, and then we have Houston, New York, then the Bears. So the good thing here is this is shaking out really, really well for the Bears right now. There is going to be an extremely talented player at almost every position group that you need available. There will be an extremely talented cornerback. Kel, let me ask you, at this given moment right now, 2 picks ahead, who should we take with everyone that's available right now? Who we looking at?
Man, Andrew Booth is falling. Andrew Booth is a very, very good first-round player. So, this is just what Justin Kevin. This is what we talked about, right? There's guys that are available that are needs. The Bears are not winning this year. This might be a really good spot to trade down. That someone's gonna be available. Kyla Gordon, Jalen Petrie, Nakobe Dean, Arnold Ebiketie, Boye Mafe. Someone's available. Somebody's got to want one of those guys, right? And if the Bears like one of those guys, take them. But if Ryan Poles if 39 hits and Ryan Poles is not like, let's go. If he's not immediately turning the card in, he's got to trade back.
Yeah, Lovey would be a guy who would take Pickens right now. Although Lovey also might take Dean. I mean, he needs guys to play in his cover too. This is where it gets interesting because I think that Eberflus and Lovie Smith's systems are probably pretty similar. I'm not sure what he's running these days, Lovey, but he could be running a 3-4 or a 4-3 because that's how he rolls. But I'd be interested to see if he thinks that a defensive player is where he wants to put his money.
Yeah.
Oh,
Texans took Petrie.
See, that's a great pick because now Lovie Smith has a big, a ball hawking safety that will make a difference in that back end of that defense. I would have advocated for the Bears to do that, but they didn't. So all right, so it's the Giants. The Giants could spoil us here. Take Pickens. I don't want Pickens.
No matter what.
I don't want Pickens either. I'm fine staying away with Pickens. That means you get Andrew Booth.
I'm fine with Booth here too, man. I'm fine.
I mean,
I would love
that's a Clemson. I can't. Oh, yes. Yeah, okay, so you're gonna. Oh my God. I don't know if you can pass on Nakobe Dean. Yeah, I don't know if you look. See, but this would be so Bears for the Bears to fuck this up. I mean, this is falling into your lap perfectly. Yeah.
Someone's not gonna like it. They're gonna take someone, and one of us are probably gonna.
But I'm gonna say if Ryan Poles picks some obscure offensive lineman because he's like, I believe in the offensive line. I was offensive lineman. I'm gonna be mad. Right at this point, there's too much talent that could be build a whole team around him. If you have you have to have a guy. I'm thinking at this point, a second rounder has to be the guy who can be on a billboard, who could be on a Kennedy billboard, right?
That could be. Oh my God! Can you imagine a linebacker duo of Nakobe Dean and Roquan Smith? Can you? Oh,
now you're like, I see what you're doing. If they don't and they go get a white guy from Oregon State who plays right guard, I'm not gonna be too happy. I don't want that guy in the Bears. I don't. I know that's what they want to do now. They want to.
They're gonna pull Patriots and take like Dylan Parham or something out of Memphis.
Yeah, I was thinking Dylan Parham, but I know there's
Falcons traded up. Wait. I think the Falcons might have just traded with the Bears. Hold on.
No, it's the Falcons took the 38. They're on the clock.
They're taking Willis.
I'm so behind.
So they just traded with the Giants.
I think the broadcast is just behind, Kevin, because I'm with you. I'm looking at Breece Hall highlights right now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Breece Hall highlights.
But you can see it now that the broadcast is behind, but Atlanta has moved up to 38.
Joe Douglas. That's not a good pick,
I switched to wait. Who did they take?
The Jets took Breece Hall. Houston took Petrie. Right?
You're saying Joe Douglas. Okay.
Yeah.
Last year.
They took Michael Carter in the second round last year. Michael Carter was pretty good for them.
I mean, there's a lot of guys available here. I don't know how you skip Nakobe Dean. I don't. I mean, it's the best, and Booth as well, right?
Booth, yeah. Dean's got something. There's some reason he's fallen. Something's going on. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's an injury,
video. Where is
something's going on.
Nakobe. See, there's a video of him smoking a blunt. I don't know what is.
He's.
I mean, Kellen had incriminating evidence with Chris Olave 2 days ago. What happened, man? What the hell?
There wasn't enough blood at the scene of the crime.
So Atlanta's on the clock, and the Bears are on the clock,
and the Bears are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock.
I mean, why did they jump ahead of the Bears?
I don't.
They haven't taken it yet. I'm looking right now, but they have not.
Falcons took Arnold Ibikite.
I did not see
that. There you go. All right, we're on the clock. I don't know, man. I don't know. You got Kyla Gordon. You got Andrew Booth, George Pickens.
It's Nakobe Dean. I think
it's Nakobe Dean.
Please be Nakobe Dean.
We're not behind at all.
It could be Andrew Booth.
Because that's how the NFL moves. The broadcast is always behind the draft.
Bro, why do they have to be so behind? It really ruins it. I'm literally, look at me right here.
Look at Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm smashing the refresh button.
I
don't think you take Pickens. Don't take Pickens. Don't take Pickens. He's falling for a reason. Don't take him. Don't take him.
Yeah, right now they're on the clock. The Bears are on the clock.
Yeah, I'm refreshing like hell right now, man.
I'm working so hard. Please don't take Pickens. You Bears fans are gonna be so mad when they don't take Pickens. They're gonna show up to freaking Hallis Hall with pitchforks.
Most people on Twitter right now are saying Nakobe Dean, please. Right, that's what I'm saying. So we'll see. I don't know if people will be pissed.
But I don't know. Maybe it is Booth. Booth is the bigger position you need. And Kellen, where would you put, how many spots ahead of Nakobe Dean would you put Andrew Booth or behind? Where are they on the same level, same tier? What do you think?
I'd probably say Nakobe Dean's like a top 20 player. Andrew Booth's a top 10. So you're not splitting atoms, but you're not like peeling onions.
So you think Booth's better?
I would say. Yeah, I think Booth is better, but he's fallen because of injury, and we don't know how severe it is. So I don't know. There's a reason why. There's always a reason for everything. But then again, I mean, you got Jamison Williams, who just tore his knee in the national championship, getting picked in the top 15. So someone's gonna want to take a chance, right? If it's Booth, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for them to mess this up, in my opinion.
Of course, the Bears are the one team that takes all their time.
Yep.
The other teams we're ready to go. We've been ready for
everything right now.
My heart's beating pretty fast right now. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be Booth. That's my pick.
Andrew Booth was a lot of people I respect CB1 this year. They liked him over Derek Stingley in the summer, and they liked him as the season went on.
I mean, I would not feel bad if that was what they did.
Yeah, right? I couldn't get on that board, but he's the fourth best corner in the class, in my opinion. But still, like I said last night, a top 10 player, no doubt.
It doesn't look like the Bears are not trading out of this spot, which is good.
No, that would have happened
already in the clock. So, yeah.
They should trade down with 49 though. There's so many players falling. They should trade down with 49, in my opinion.
These trades are strange to me.
There have been 3 trades already in the first 9 picks. Someone just put on Twitter, which I think is hilarious. They're like, I'm hearing from sources the Bears are selecting Malik Willis. That would be unbelievable if that happened. Yeah.
Select him and trade him.
Or it'd just be classic Bears to create a quarterback controversy when they do not need it.
Yeah, right. Typical.
Man. I think it's funny now how Mitch is kind of in the position that he came into the league in. Right? He was just signed to be the bridge quarterback, and the team that signed him just drafted the replacement. Right. So he's kind of,
what does that say about what they saw Mitch Trubisky in their offseason workouts? They must have been like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's like,
whatever, man. For them, I think that was not a bad pick. I just don't see it.
They paid $10 million.
Yeah,
I don't see it with Pickens either. I don't see it. It's Kyla Gordon. All right, Helen, let's hear it.
All right.
Bears select Kyla Gordon.
Tell me who Kyla Gordon is.
Okay. Kyla Gordon for a while was rated high cornerback, Washington, probably about 5'11", 190, 195. When you watch his tape, this will actually be fun to break down. Probably some of the funnest cornerback tape you got, because Trent McDuffie was the better guy on the other side. But as far as athleticism goes, on a football field, Kyla Gordon moves differently. And the reason he fell this far in the draft is because guys saw him move on the field and thought he was going to have insane 3-cone shuttle 40 times at the draft and then like a big, vert jump. And he just didn't have it. He just didn't have it that day for whatever reason. So I think he fell. But that guy is going to be a good compliment. He fills in the run game. He can play nickel if they need him to. He can do a lot of different things. He's a little bit raw. He's going to learn how to get up in guys' faces. But that's a guy who's going to make plays for you for a long time.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that pick. I mean, obviously they have problems with the injuries to Booth, and they wanted to get a corner, and it's kind of nice because I feel like Ryan Pace and the Bears last regime did not invest in that position, letting Kyle Fuller walk, which was fine. I was fine with that. But last year they rolled the dice thinking that the bunch of guys that were going to walk on were going to fill the role, and nobody ever did. And so I like this. Again, this is about the secondary, and if the secondary is a ball hawk secondary, and they can get some pressure on that quarterback, and this is how Eberflus runs his defense, I'm all for it. I think it's great.
Absolutely. I like this pick.
The bottom line is it's the biggest position of need. You cannot go into this year with the players that you currently have, that being Jalen Johnson, Thomas Graham Jr., Kendall Vildor, and Duke Shelley. You can't go in there with those guys. You just can't. This was the biggest position of need, and they went after the guy who they thought was the best there. And we thought it might have been Booth, the best guy there, but if they are all in on Kyla Gordon, then you like to see the conviction of that there. I did a little bit of research on Kyla Gordon. And I saw some of the same things that you did, Kyla, and I did a little bit more research on some other guys, not even thinking that Kyla Gordon was really going to be available here at 39. I thought he would go before that. So, again, we talked earlier, is it a glamorous pick? No. Would Andrew Booth have been more glamorous? Sure. But this is a guy who's going to make your football team better immediately. Right. Exactly. Slower 40-yard dash time, 4.52, but it's a guy who's a play. How would you rate his ball hawking skills from the tape that you watched, Kellen? Is he all over the field in that aspect?
He didn't get a lot of chances, man, because Washington's defense, their secondary was so good, but their front seven was awful. They played more of a front six. It was so bad. They were so soft, getting blown off the ball. But guys wouldn't want to test Trent McDuffie. They wouldn't want to test Kyla Gordon on the outside. They have a nickel who I really like. He's really undersized. His name is Bookie Radley Hiles, transferred from Oklahoma. But he's a real. He puts his nose in everything. He's only about 5'7", but guys will not throw against him. Kyla Gordon, I don't think he got an interception until this season, actually, which was the big thing about him. Is like, well, where's the ball production at? He finally got it this last season. So I think there's a ceiling left untapped. I think he's still relatively new to playing corner, which is why McDuffie was kind of the more big-name guy coming out that university. But, I mean, come on, let's look at Washington quarterbacks, right? Byron Murphy, we're looking at Marcus Peters. Washington, Ohio State, Alabama, Florida State, Texas, LSU, that's, DBU Central. But Washington is a very, very underrated school when it comes to producing. I mean, Budda Baker, I know Kevin King will love to bag on Kevin King, but Kevin King was a solid prospect coming out, so.
Well, I mean, as Mike just pointed out, I mean, right now, the broadcast for the NFL is 5 minutes
so
behind.
Slow.
10 minutes behind. And I think that has a lot to do with doing live and hitting all the different streaming devices. So if you really want to know, follow Brad Biggs and the Bears Twitter, which has been all over it. And they, obviously break the news way before Twitter's breaking the news 5 minutes before the broadcast is. I think that, again, if you're going to look at it this way, you've now got a corner who can play that Eberflus obviously likes to put into your system, who's under rookie contract for 4+ maybe 5 years, right? Yeah. And so you say you have that plus Jalen Johnson, who's got another 3 under Bears control probably at this point. So, I mean, look at it that way. You're not paying your corners money at this point. You might have to extend Jalen Johnson at some point, but if you're not planning to be good this year, it's great because this kid can get his lumps in. And the idea is you're not paying like a Jalen Ramsey type cash to bring a free agent in when you don't have a pass rush, right? That's what it really comes down to.
And let's think about the guys we're going to have to pay in a couple years, right? You're going to let Robert Quinn go when his contract ends, so that gives you money to pay Roquan, to pay Jalen Johnson, to pay Darnell Mooney. Outside of that, I don't think they're going to give David Montgomery a second contract. And if they do, it won't be big, So, and then obviously you got to save. Hopefully, being Justin Fields your franchise quarterback, you got to save up for that. But there's not really
you guys
guys that have to pay.
You guys pay way more attention to the stats and what the word is on the street. But is it just after the first year of the 2 tackles that were drafted, Borum and Jenkins, are they reclamation projects? Are they down and out? Or can they be guys that Ryan Poles looks at and goes, wow, these guys are young and hungry and they can definitely be starters on this line?
There's a reason I don't think a tackle will get taken in this draft. I mean, those guys can play. They're very raw, and we don't know what they can become, especially Tevin with the injury history. And Borum, we have limited tape on him. But I think he sees talent with them and the flexibility, and they've already switched them, Tevin back to right and Borum back to left. He sees what he sees things out of those guys, I think, where he's confident enough.
It's a very good move to move. To put Tevin back at the right is a very smart move.
I completely agree.
I mean, if you're just looking at it, not talking about what we saw on the field and actually at gameplay, which is the most important thing. But if you're looking at it just on the stat sheet, or you're looking at just the roster, I mean, you put some money into or at least some draft capital into those guys, into Jenkins last year and Borum too, and was he a 4th or 5th rounder? But the point being, you don't have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that again if you're an organization. You already invested in it. So I'm okay that they didn't go with O-line here. Fine. And I'm okay with don't do it at 49 either. I think that
they shouldn't.
I don't know what Eric Fisher's deal is, if he's still on the free. I think you can get another swing guard, swing tackle, and piecemeal together. And I think the running game is solid for this rebuilding year. I think the 49 pick is going to be a wide receiver.
It's going to be I don't know though, Justin.
Or possibly
I think it's a trade down.
Yeah,
I think
or possibly
a trade down.
More on the defense, like if they can get more. But I don't know what's available at this point.
How has Nakobe Dean still not been taken? I mean, it's absurd. Now let's go.
Seattle has the next 2 picks.
Here
so Seattle made a trade up, so they've got the 40 and the 41 here.
They had it beforehand. They had it.
I really like that pick by the Bears. I really like that pick, man.
The more I think about Kyla Gordon, the more I'm thinking about Jalen Johnson and their comparisons. You talk about strong players, guys who excel in press coverage. Those are some of the things I see out of Kyla Gordon. He doesn't look too happy right now. Come on, Kyla.
No, he doesn't.
Smile, but he looks like he's all business, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. He's
who else didn't look happy and was all business was our quarterback last year. He's all business all the time.
No, he actually looks like he hates the Bears.
Let's go, man. I mean, I'm all in on it. Again, we're gonna get the viewers starting to come in here who just watched it on ESPN. Again, we been talking about this for about 5 minutes because we saw it on Twitter. So for those who just saw this on ESPN, yes, Kyla Gordon comes in. He did lead his team in pass breakups in 2021. If you just saw that stat pop up on the screen, so he does have that knack for the football. This looks like a guy, man. The way this guy looks business, man. He looks business. I don't know if you're watching this on TV. He looks business, man.
Yes,
and I see him and Jalen. And let it be known. Here's the green room of Poles and Eberflus giving themselves a big hug. I love it. I think him and Jalen Johnson alongside on the opposite sides of each other, these aren't guys you're going to want to mess with. And I don't think you're going to have to rely on your safeties to cover up these guys. I think you can put both of them on an island and they're going to hold their own with the wide receivers that have come into this division.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you're looking at Okay, so you're going to have some pretty talented folks. Now you got Christian Watson in Green Bay, but you've got the Minnesota Vikings receivers. I mean, you're going to match up with those guys, which is good.
Right. Justin Jefferson.
I think he likes it.
And man, he looks good in the Bears hat. Again, guys, like let's make this known. This was a guy who in a lot of mock drafts was going in the 23, 24, 25 range. This was a guy who people thought would go in that area. We got him at 39. That's consecutive years or 3 in a row now where you have seen the Bears get a guy who was mocked to go in the first round later in the second round, that being Jalen Johnson, Tevin Jenkins, and now Kyla Gordon. This is a great pick. I'm excited.
I am too. I like that pick.
So now we start thinking about, you solidified cornerback here. You solidified cornerback, and there's going to be either Jalen Tolbert, George Pickens, or Sky Moore available to you, and John Mechie at 49, at 48. I don't think any of them are worthy of taking at that time, unless it's Pickens. I think you trade down at 48, but you just solidified your biggest position of need. These highlights are looking good. Here he is dancing. Participated in ballet as a child. You got a player who has a whole lot of versatility, including ballet. So he's light with his toes. But,
absolutely.
All right, man.
So here come the Seahawks. They're probably already on the 41, right? But at least on the broadcast, you're talking about they got a tackle. So it's interesting to see how they rebuild, right? I mean, it's going to be. Are they going to pick?
They're taking Willis. They're taking Willis. So? It makes too much sense. He's similar to Russell Wilson. It just.
I mean, Nakobe Dean's on the. So they got to. They got.
I can't believe Dean's still on the board.
They got to replace Bobby Wagner, right? I mean, like that would be an amazing thing if the Seahawks were like, if Nakobe Dean fell to them in the second round, and they were like, wow, we gave up that $1 million of contracts for Bobby Wagner, and we got a guy who could play like him, to come in and take over. That'd be pretty fortunate for that franchise.
Seattle took Boy Mafe. So now, so they took that with 40. Now they might go Willis with 41. So again, like if you look, so look at the teams that are. Let's go down to the draft order before Chicago picks at 48. You have Seattle at 41. You have Indy at 42. Who Indy? They don't really need a Nakobe Dean type player. They don't really need a wide receiver. They could use one. I don't know if they need one. The Giants probably would be a good spot. What was that?
I don't think this is the spot for receiver for Indy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think – and it could be a spot for Nakobe Dean for the Giants. Cleveland could maybe use a receiver.
I think Cleveland might go Andrew Booth.
Cleveland goes
Booth. Give credit. If the Giants get lucky, if the Giants moved out of that spot, right? Because they strategize and they're able to get Nakobe Dean. Oh, and they could have got him at 30, whatever they're at, 36 or 37, and they still get him at 43 or 44, wherever they're at. That'd be pretty great because they picked up I think at least a pick on that trade up. So that's pretty amazing for them if that happens for them, right? They'd be very lucky. Oh, yeah. I know that they're in.
They're currently winning the draft right now, anyway, or them and the Jets are.
The Jets are.
The Giants are doing real well, but they're both doing well in the draft right now. And then Detroit got their receiver locked up. Washington got their receiver and Jahan Dotson. I mean, I see maybe one team that's going to take a receiver before the Bears. So as long as the Bears don't take, so let's. I mean, Bears fans, there's a legit possibility they could get Pickens as well at 48. I do think that. There's teams, I think, who are higher on Sky Moore than they were on Pickens. There's teams who, God knows, might be higher on Jalen Tolbert than George Pickens. Someone's going to fall to you at 48. Yeah. What do you do, though? It's got to be wide receiver at 48 unless Nakobe Dean falls, in my opinion. That's where I'm at right now. What do you think about that?
I think if there's no receivers taken between now and our pick, I think you got to trade back. I mean, if they want Dean, take him, right? That's fine. But I mean, I think I can't see why anyone wouldn't want someone there because there's guys falling here. This like 30 to 55 range. This is where you're looking at guys that were like, that guy could have went day one, or you were hearing talks about him going day one. It happened with Kyla Gordon. It happened with Breece Hall. Some people really like David Ketty. Some people really like Mafe. Maybe not round one type, but a lot of guys were having them go very early. So we're looking at guys that a lot of people might have viewed as first round talent. So if you can get that guy at 48, I would love for you to draft him. But if you don't feel like you have it, it's the same thing, right? If you're not rushing to the podium to turn the pick in, then don't do it. Try and find a partner to dance with. But as of right now, if you got a guy, turn the card in. Go get him.
So we're still waiting on the Seahawks.
41, yeah.
Yeah, still waiting on them here. Their pick is in. I think it has to be Malik Willis right here. I do. I mean, I just we saw them take Mafe.
They're in a little bit of a rebuild too. I mean, they could easily get away with Geno Smith being their starter next year and get something else.
That's a very Seahawks.
Kenneth
pick.
Walker the third?
That's a very.
Are you kidding me? See, okay, so now here's again. Here's what's interesting. Do the Colts take Malik Willis because they're with Matt Ryan for X many years until he retires? Do the Giants take? If the Giants are lucky enough to get Malik Willis in this draft as well, that is an absolute win for them. But that surprises me. I mean, that was a perfect chance for the Seahawks to. Kenneth Walker's a great player. I watched him play against Ohio State at the Shoe. He wasn't that impressive in that game, but man, that surprises me. But here we go.
So they could you could also see them picking a different quarterback too. I mean, there's a couple other quarterbacks, Coral, others that might be more Indianapolis, like bullshit.
Again, this is helping. This is falling. This is
going well.
Perfect for the Bears because you're seeing players.
There's part of me, Kev, that I want to see that. I know they can't do it. I'd love to see the Bears move up and get Dean here. That would be amazing. But they don't have the capital to do that.
They might not even need to right now.
Well, I don't know how he gets past the Cleveland Browns at 44 or the Giants at 43, right?
Yeah, 44. 44, I think, is a spot you see either Booth or Dean go if they're not off the board yet. And David Ojabo. Totally forgot about David Ojabo. That guy was another one. First-round talent all season long. Everyone was talking about him, first round.
I mean, there's a chance the Bears – you're absolutely right. There's a chance right now that at 48 or 49 – where are the Bears, 49?
48.
48, that they'll get first-round talent. I mean, there's so many guys that are dropping out. Just looking at this list of, I mean, that's going to be pretty.
That's what we're saying. We're getting a first round talent. Hey, David Ojabo was going to be a top 10 pick before his injury. Maybe not top 10.
Yeah. He was top 20,
top 15,
25,
right?
though,
Colin,
sure.
Did you say?
Yeah.
Ojabo
Absolutely.
before the injury.
I mean, hey, I'm okay with that. Is that okay? I'll ask you guys a question about free agency. Is it over? I mean, are they going to be waiting for June 1st cuts, or did we get what we got and stop complaining?
No, they're not done. I think based on how the draft shakes out for you, specifically at the receiver position, why wouldn't you go after Jarvis Landry or Julio Jones after the draft? I mean, you have no reason not to. They're not done, in my opinion. We talked about this last night, Colin and I did. They have 21 roster spots to fill. At this moment, they currently have 6 picks in the draft. That would mean you're looking at 15 undrafted free agents after the draft. And typically you go for about 8 or 9 per draft, not 15. That's an insane amount. They have to either make a trade down or acquire free agents after the draft just to simply fill the roster spots they need. So I think they're going to do something in free agency, specifically get a veteran guy to come in and help out Justin Fields. The Colts had traded their pick to the Vikings. Vikings move up to 42.
Weird. Why would they do that?
So do they take Pickens? I don't know. They don't. They might.
Why would they? I don't think they need. That is not an area they need, right?
This might be
what? Linebacker?
Booth, maybe. Could be linebacker. What do they have? They cut Kendricks. Where's Anthony Barr at? Oh, they signed Zadarius Smith. I forgot about that. Let me go to our lads. Hold on. Viking depth chart. That's the old-fashioned way.
Lots of trades this draft, man. It seems like there's a lot.
Yeah.
But this is good. I mean, this is good.
If you could
as long as the QBs keep falling.
If Bernard Raymond falls to the Bears at 48, do you take him?
No, he's old. I like Bernard.
So. He's old. Was he 23, 24?
I think he's 25.
Oh,
he's old. Yeah.
25.
Yeah. So by his second contract, he's already going to be 29. So that's rough. He's a good player, though. I think you might look at him third round. Anthony Barr is a free agent right now who's still unsigned, which is kind of shocking to me. There's Troy Dye and Eric Kendricks right now, I believe, are the starters. They drafted Chaz. This is for the Vikings. They drafted Chaz Surratt last year. And Kevin, they have Tough Borland on their practice squad.
Do they? I forgot about Tough Borland, Ohio State guy.
Yeah, okay, let me ask you another question. If the what was the safety, the second safety, the kid from Penn State, Brisker. If Brisker's available at 48, do you take him?
Maybe.
No.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't think so, but I wouldn't be mad at it.
I'm just thinking like ball hawk type, like bring all these athletic secondary guys to the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings get Booth.
Booth, there you go.
So there you go. That's good. I mean, the Bears already got that need. So four teams in front of the Bears until they draft Dean. Come on. You know who's right in front of the Bears too? What sucks is the Lions.
Man.
Lions are going to steal. They're going to get Dean, and it'll be like, shoot. Although this is a classic Lions reach, they'll do something stupid. This is what the coach will be like. I need knee biters
so far. Knee biters.
I need someone with character.
And look, let's not get it twisted. Kellen was making the point last night that I don't know if it was you, Kellen, or if it was whoever I was watching ESPN. That Nakobe Dean was the best player on his team last year. I mean, you saw 5 Georgia defensive players get taken in the first round, and none of them were the best player on the team last year. Like Nakobe Dean anchored that defense, won the award, the Dick Butkus Award for best linebacker in the country. This is a dog, man. This is a dog. Like, you're not just talking about no average linebacker who's falling because he's not good enough. No, this guy is a dog who can play and was the anchor of one of the best defenses college football has seen in the past 20 years. That is a guy you have to take, although it's not a position of need there. 49-8. You have to.
I'll bet you're going to see George Pickens on the Ravens. I think Ravens are coming up here next, right?
That'd be kind of fun.
And I think that with the Marquise Brown trade, I think that this would be a perfect. I think that they're not going to shy away from any sort of baggage. They're a team that feels pretty strong with their leadership. They're a veteran team, and they can get a guy who could stretch the field and could be their one. I think, and especially after Lamar Jackson did his little freak out on Twitter yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that could be. So let's just say they take him there. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the Lions that scare me the most, who are on the clock at 46, right? And then Ron Rivera's Washington Commanders too. That scares me too. They're gonna.
No, they already got their guy. They got for Dean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all in on Dean. I'm not like, just give me another linebacker who's going to make a huge play in the flat, and the Soldier Field's going to go crazy when we're losing 31-0. Mm-hmm. That's what I need, right?
Man, Justin, you are the ultimate pessimist. That's okay though.
I don't.
The fan base trained us to be like that.
I know. I don't have a lot of faith in. Here's my thing: the Bears right now are doing.
Oh my God!
What do we got?
The Giants are taking Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver out of Kentucky.
All right, good.
I mean,
that is good. That is good, Kevin. I think I've told you this before. NFL GMs are not good at what they do. NFL front offices are filled with incompetence. They are not good at what they do a lot of times.
What are we doing? What are you doing, man? I mean, like, I don't. Again, I'm not one to talk. Wan'Dale Robinson could be a great player. Like, you just don't know. Yeah. But given what,
but they just drafted Kadarius Toney too last year, so maybe that means they're confident they can get Toney shipped for something. But I mean, whatever. Weird. That's a weird pick to me.
Well,
I mean, I think you trade down.
I'm excited.
Look, you are getting lucky right now, and I think you trade down. I think you have to trade down. I think you get more assets. You find some quality wide receivers, whether that be the two guys I've been talking about all fucking year, Calvin Austin and Justin Ross, in the 3rd or 4th round. I think you have to. I think you absolutely have to trade down. That's unless Dean falls to you. Unless Dean falls.
If the next 4 are perfect picks, and the best athletes go off the board, and now the cliff is there, I think that the Bears again need to take best players available, and if they can get first round talent at second round prices, I would take it only because you're going to need to. You got a guy on a rookie contract who could be a Pro Bowler, and that you got to take that risk at this point. I think moving down and going, and trying to get in the 4th and 5th round, those guys ain't going to be ready in 3 to 4 years. Look, 4th round picks don't usually, break out in a rookie year. A 2nd round pick does. And so that's where I'm like, I'd like to see if we're not playing for next year or playing for the next year, we better be ready. Yeah. It better be 12-4 time in 2 years time. I'm not messing around. I will give you Ryan Poles a freaking rebuild, but you get 1 year. Bullshit that 6-10 is good enough in the 2nd year. You're out. If it's the 2nd year and it's 6-10, I'm playing that game. You train away all our great players that are actually at Pro Bowl level for rookies and stuff. Then draft rookies that can play right now.
Yeah, and look, the thing is, like the guy I've been talking about a while, Calvin Austin. I don't know how familiar you are with him, but he's out of Memphis. He's smaller guy, quicker, twitchy. He's one of the veterans in the draft as well, which I think is something the Bears are going to be looking for, especially given the rich history in this franchise. But he's exactly what he's exactly the player the Chiefs would draft. And with Ryan Poles coming from the Chiefs, I could totally see him being the perfect fit for the Bears. He reminds you a lot of Tyreek Hill in the way that he runs routes, the way that he operates after he catches the football. I think that's why, I've been so dead set on Calvin Austin and Justin Ross. That's why I'm okay with them trading down, acquiring more picks, and then.
Who did the Browns get? Who was the Browns? Did the Browns get a wide receiver this free agency? Did they switch out?
Amari Cooper.
All right, so they ain't get. Well, they could still get a second. They got that kid from Michigan, the Peoples Jones. Right? Yeah. So they may not be in the market for a wide. I'm just afraid they're going to pick Dean here. They should, because just imagine if you had Clowney and Garrett. Is Clowney still with the Browns? I'm not sure, but you had a ass-kicking middle linebacker or outside linebacker. Holy cow!
I think is Mac Wilson still with them? Or that'd be a dangerous inside linebacker combo. No, he's with the Patriots. I lied. But
yeah, that's what I mean. They're going to need somebody to fill that spot.
Can someone tell me what the hell what happened with that guy presenting the Vikings pick? Apparently,
he must have went on and rambled for a minute while we were talking.
It's Ed Molinaro. You don't know who that is? He was like
the lady came up to me.
Blue Mountain State coach.
He's an old school,
he's an actor, right?
Yeah, he was an actor and football player for the Vikings. Did he play on the Vikings? Yeah, it's classic. It'd be like if we put Dan Hampton up there.
Right.
And, or something like that, where you're just like, all right, do this, and he's just droning on, talking about Chevy trucks, and you'd be like, all right, knock it off.
Now, here's another thing to consider now. Obviously, there's something about Pickens teams don't like, okay? There's something there that teams don't like. There's a reason Christian Watson went ahead. There's a reason Wan'Dale Robinson went ahead. Do the Bears panic? Do they take note of that and say, hey, we also have to pass on Pickens because the rest of the world is passing on him? Is this one of those infamous moments where you are conscious of the slide and you have to take note of that? Or do you say, fuck that, we have belief in this guy, let's take him?
Hard to say. I mean, it is, if George Pickens is on the clock, he's not still on the board when the Bears are picking. I mean, they need wide receivers. They need someone, who has had big time playmaking ability. And I don't know about the baggage stuff. I'm not sure I care about that. This is the NFL. You're going to come in, you're going to play. And yeah, it would be classic Bears to have someone who has bad attitude and, by week 6 is pissed off and benched. Plastic. But I think, if he's there, it's hard for me to say not to draft him, especially if one of these teams takes Nakobe Dean, right?
Yeah.
I think, yes. And I think we actually almost have reached the point in the draft where Twitter is not faster than the TV.
All right, good. It's caught up.
So the Browns have just traded with the Texans. So the Texans is up to 44.
I bet you the Browns were zeroed in on Andrew Booth, and then he got taken. They were out of there. I bet that's what happened.
Yeah.
You could be
now.
correct.
This could be. You're absolutely right, Kevin. If now let's say there's a run, Houston goes after Dean. Baltimore says, "Let me go get George Pickens." Detroit is takes the next. Now you're in a spot where you're like, Who's left?
Trade down. Yeah. Trade
Now
down.
I would say if those guys are off the board who could be stars in the NFL right now, then I might listen to moving back in the second, third round, maybe even,
these next 5 picks are huge to see what the Bears are going to do.
Now, Houston needs a wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if Lovie Smith is like, I'll take George Pickens, right?
Do you trade up for him, though, given the way he has fallen, right? You have to think about that. Do you trade up for a guy like that? Or could you have waited 3 extra picks to let him fall to you? I don't think you can wait for Nakobe Dean to fall to you. I think you could wait for George Pickens. I think that's going to be Nakobe Dean, but we'll see. I swear to God, if the Bears take Sky Moore, I'm going to walk right off of this studio. He is terrible. I don't like him at all. But
I'm not a big Sky Moore guy.
Where did he play?
Texans took John Mechie. What is going on?
All right. So there you go. So John Mechie would have been that's another guy.
I already said it, Kevin. I'm not going to say it again. They're not good at their job. And I like John Mechie. I think John Mechie's a solid football player. But injury, lack of elite athleticism, trade up for him.
To NFL trade up for John Mechie?
Yeah, man. That's good, though.
That's good for us.
Keep him going. Keep him going.
Well, they must be afraid. They must be afraid that one of the next teams is going after him, and it could have been the Bears.
Maybe. I mean, look, John Mechie. The thing about John Mechie, he's just a very good football player. There's nothing. He's not the best of any of the wide receivers in the class at any specific thing. He's not the fastest. He's not the most explosive. He doesn't have the best vertical jump. He doesn't have the best hands. He doesn't have the best route runner. He doesn't win his line of scrimmage the best. But he's just an all-around good football player. You know what I mean? And he's going to be a playmaker week 1, assuming he's healthy, which he believes he will be. It's funny watching the Texans team needs come up, and it's literally every position on the team. I think that's hilarious. But
okay, so just looking at the lineup, I mean, you got the Lions, the Ravens, and the Washington, right, in front of you here. And right now, if you look at if you just look at the best prospects available, Nakobe Dean, obviously I'm surprised he's dropped this far. There must be something on him. He's hurt or something. Bernard Raymond, right?
It's like Hunter Jenkins.
Was it
Bernard Raymond? Well, remember last year? Yeah. So we just found out a year later that, or not a year later, months later, that Tevin Jenkins had the back issues that people worried about during the draft. You talk about why players fall. That could be the same thing for one of these guys.
You got George Pickens, right? You got a couple of quarterbacks, Malik Willis, Matt Corral. We're not going to be taking those guys. Daniel Falele, is that how you say his name, out of Minnesota?
Falele, yeah.
Yeah, Falele is still on the board. And then you've got Brisker, the safety from Penn State. Ajabo, who's still, I believe he has not been picked yet, right? He's still around. That would be an awesome pick, right? I mean, he's hurt, right?
Yeah, Ajabo, I like Ajabo, but someone's.
But I mean, they're in need of that, right? I mean, especially if you're talking now, they're not going to trade Robert Quinn if they're not. By this point, I would think that. Although he's probably only going to fetch a third or fourth round pick, so I could see a Robert Quinn trade still happening, but probably not. No one wants that huge contract, right? But
probably not.
I think that would be great. I'm not at all against an edge rusher at 48 here. I would be totally fine with that too. You got to replace Khalil Mack's production, man. And I don't think Gibson's it. I don't think he's it. I think he's a 7th round guy from last year who played a lot of garbage time. That's the problem with a guy like that is you're now you put him in the 3rd down and 6 against Aaron Rodgers, and when the season's on the line, you're like, oh, he didn't get anywhere near the quarterback. Great, good job, buddy.
Right.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah.
I think here's what I'm worried about though now. I think teams are now starting to go with their guys. They're saying, you know what, these guys are falling. Let's just go with our guys. All right. We don't know why these guys are falling. Let's leap ahead let's just go after our guy that we had. Although we had him later, let's take him now. Maybe the Bears feel that way about Calvin Austin. I mean, Calvin Austin is a guy who's is supposed to be an early 3rd round pick, mid 3rd round pick, but so is John Mechie. So maybe you see a situation here where, look, Tolbert, Sky Moore, and Pickens are falling for whatever reason. Let's go after a guy we want.
What do you do if you're Baltimore here? What do you do? I mean, if they have a guy, they love defense, and if they're like, oh my God, Nakobe Dean's on, are they like another linebacker?
I think this is Ajabo for them. I think
they don't need an edge rusher. They've got 19 edge rushers. Don't they?
They could use one.
I mean, if I were Lamar Jackson, they pick defense right here, I'd be super pissed. I think it's got to be Pickens right here. Right?
Let's check Twitter. Twitter might have it. Let's see.
It's got to be Pickens. If it's not Pickens, then it's maybe another offensive lineman. But didn't they pick a center in the first round?
Tyler Linderbaum. Yeah, the Ravens are they're winning the draft, man. They got some really good players or really good spots in the first round.
They would be so smart to pick up Dean right here too, even though they'd probably piss off their quarterback.
Yeah.
You know that like you just add a rookie like that into a system where they just play defense. Yeah, the Ravens. I wish I was a Ravens fan.
I know, right?
Every year, even when they suck, they're crazy. In it. Yeah.
They got a first-round pick for Hollywood Brown, man, which is, I mean, I like Hollywood Brown.
How does that even happen when we're talking about?
I don't know.
Robert Quinn sets the sack record, and like maybe a fifth-rounder. Hollywood Brown.
He's
NFL GM Steve Keim is not. He's actually bad. Like the Cardinals GM Steve Keim is not good at what he does. I think a lot of people
are you ready?
Yeah.
Ravens taking Ojabo.
Yep.
And the Lions have traded up to 46. They traded with the Vikings. Another rare in-division trade.
Might be Willis.
The Lions are on the clock. This is what scares me.
It might be Willis, and if it's Willis, I'm pissed.
No, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Dean. Why would you trade up into the spot?
I mean, because Washington might want Willis. How long is Carson Wentz going to be with on your football team? Come on.
Yeah.
If you're Matt Eberflus right now, and Ryan Poles is like, I got an idea. I'm taking the South Dakota State center. I would be up on his grill right now, being like, it's Dean or nothing. If he falls to 48.
Oh my God, man!
Come on, Lions, mess it up, Lions. Do it,
they're due, bro. Dude, they're due to mess it up. Yeah, go ahead. They're due to mess it up, man. I mean, aren't they? Come on. Like, they've had such a good – I can't deny. They've had a good draft, man. They've had a good draft.
This is where you wish you had Ryan Pace. This is where you wish you had a Ryan Pace was the Lions GM to be like, I think a tight end right now.
Yeah, I think,
a Division II tight end would be really good.
Right. Why not the guy from Ashland University that no one's ever fucking heard of? Why not that guy?
There's this punter. He's a real strong punter. We should get that guy. I'm excited. I've not been this excited about the. I can't believe that. I mean, they list on CBS, and I'm broken record on Dean. I get it.
I know you fucking love him.
He's the 14th overall prospect in the entire draft. And so the idea that he would drop to 49, and I would be excited to see a young guy like that playing linebacker next to Roquan. I just would be like, yes, I want to see that. I like that. I like that he's got the swagger. He's a guy who he feels like a 3rd and 5 is going to make a play guy, and that's what you want. I don't want any more of this project stuff. So I hope the Lions aren't smart.
I hope so too.
I mean, and Brisker's still there too, and I would think that would be the next. If the Bears are not going to trade out, I would listen to Brisker and Pickens if Dean's not on the board. It's just nice, since the even the early days of Emery, even Angela, the Bears draft their safeties late. 5th round, 6th round, they just kind of
Mike Brown, Adrian Amos, Eddie Jackson, all of those guys were.
Jackson was the one guy, right, that they went early on, but all of those.
Jackson was 4th.
I think he was 4th. Yeah, Amos was 5th. Yeah.
Every year they seem to pick up a.
What?
What do we got?
The Lions are taking Josh Pascal.
Yes, Lions.
Talk about finding a way to fuck it up. I mean, I don't know. Kyla, your evaluation of Josh Pascal.
I don't have one. If that tells you, is that Kentucky, right?
I believe so. Let me double check. Checking right now.
Yeah.
I don't even see him on the list here. Oh yeah, he's the 79th
Kentucky
overall edge rusher.
Wow, he beat Cancer.
That's interesting because there's a couple of Sam Williams is still on the board, right? From
Sam Williams is there.
Ole Miss, and and Cameron Thomas from San Diego State, and there's already Myjah Sanders from Cincinnati. That's a reach to go all the way down to Pascal. All right,
is this Keegan
good for the Lions? That feels like a Dan Carpenter pick or whatever that guy's name is, right? That's classic.
Dan Campbell.
Campbell. You know what? He's a tough guy. I like him a lot. He does push-ups after practice.
This is weird to me, man. I did not think they were going to do this.
It works for us. They traded up for him, too.
It works great for us. Pascal is – wow, okay.
Come on, Ron Rivera.
Right.
I'm scared of Ron Rivera because I feel like – although I could see them going after George Pickens. I could see them trying to get another receiver on that team. They also could get Malik Willis here. This could be Malik Willis time, right?
Yeah, it could
They
be.
need a quarterback, right? I mean, they're in dire need of a quarterback.
Yeah, they are.
Or like or maybe go get the other guy, the guy from North Carolina or some shit, like the place.
Sam Howell. Yep.
Yeah, just one of those guys. Just please pick somebody that's not Dean here. And then I will turn it all around, guys. I will start being like, oh my god, I love Ryan Poles. If he pulls the trigger on that linebacker. If he's
let me tell you right now.
The Lions just did, and he's like, I'm gonna take the 90th pick overall.
I'll put it on script right here. If neither of these teams take a quarterback, the Bears should trade down.
All that's left is this is the Commanders.
Or just the Commanders.
That's it. And if they take, I think they're going to take a quarterback.
I think someone.
The pick is in. That was in very fast.
Oh, come on, the Kobe Dean. Come on. They don't even, the Bears, when you look at CBS tracker, they don't even put Nakobe Dean as the best fit for the Bears.
Who do they have? Who does CBS have?
They have Raymond, Pickens, and Falele from Minnesota.
Wow. I can't believe they just took Josh Pascal there. Let's go Lions. Way to go, team.
Yeah, no, thank you. Hey, they had while you were in the bathroom, Justin and I were saying they're due for a bad
They're due
pick.
for one of these.
It's
right?
Lions.
That's what he said exactly.
What are we tripping about? Wow. I mean,
all right, here we go. Come
I'm
on.
nervous.
I'm nervous. To get this close? Come on.
we're on the clock.
There's no way anyone in Chicago would be mad. They would not be mad if they went with Dean. They'd be like, all right, another linebacker. Great. This could be the
Commanders take
Kevin days.
They announced it yet?
I don't
I see we're on the clock.
Oh my God! What is going on? Fidarian Mathis? Bama defensive tackle Fidarian Mathis.
Tackle. So these teams are going by need. Those are need picks, right? They need. All right.
Trade.
So we're on the clock.
Out. I'm sorry. Trade out. Trade out.
No.
Yeah.
Trade
no.
out. Yes.
Not
trade out. I don't care. Trade out.
Don't you dare trade out. Take the Kobe Dean
trade
right
out
now.
Right now. No. Give me extra picks. Trade out. Come on, please.
There's a lot of players on the board.
You have to trade out.
I don't want trade out. I want guys who are going to make impact players right now. So I have something to watch next year.
No,
I don't want them to be
trade
all
out.
5th round guys next year. Please, no reclamation projects. Do not reach here. There's a all-star Pro Bowl talent linebacker right in front of you, and you need it. Don't come on. Here we go. Come on.
Okay, so what do you say? What do you say to the Pickens audience then?
Did Shane get the pick, or I don't know? Shane just said WTF in chat. So, or is he saying that about the Lions?
I don't know, Shane. Dude, what does Shane know?
Yeah, no.
You trade out, Shane.
What?
You trade out. I'm sorry. That's what
Find a dance partner.
That's my opinion. But okay, assuming they don't trade out, because I think New Orleans might take Willis. But that's what I mean. Is like if there's a team that wants Willis, you trade with the Bears to get him ahead of New Orleans. But it's almost too late. I think you have.
They're not trading out. They're gonna.
You have to take Nakobe Dean and get Calvin Austin in the third. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's what you do. That's where I'm at. You take
Nakobe Dean, or I would be okay if it was George Pickens. I'd be okay if it's George Pickens.
I'm fine if it's George Pickens, but
it's Pickens or Dean. But I'm not going. Do not pick a lineman, and do not pick some. Don't reach here. You have this guy. Nakobe Dean is a top 20 player in this draft. I don't know why he dropped, and maybe there's some dirt on him and something like that. But man, if you compare him, then you've got a Briggs and Urlacher combo. You know that you need that in Chicago. You need that kind of talent. You need it. Come on.
I think Jarrett might join us after this pick too. By the way.
All right.
Let's go.
I'm out after this pick. I gotta go.
Oh yeah, you're. I forgot you're.
I got a 7:30. I gotta get out. So this is perfect timing. Perfect timing, Bears. Come on.
Refreshing like hell, man.
Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. True. DVD. Don't be dumb.
Fuck, man. Come on.
Yeah. That's all.
I know. And it's also they're still on the on my TV at least. It's still on the Washington pick.
They've been getting closer and closer to being like on time. I will say, I think this happened the first pick too. The Bears are taking their time. They're taking their time with these picks.
Yeah, we didn't know Kyla Gordon for a minute.
Yeah, right. They everyone on Bears Twitter is saying trade out.
Yeah, everyone. Me and Kel.
I know.
Darian Mathis.
What?
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't do my scouting report on Fedarian Mathis, but to me,
Fedarian Mathis was not. He was not good. He was not good down at. Yeah, that's who the Commanders picked. Fedarian Mathis did not impress me and my guys down in Mobile.
All right, here we go. Come on. Yeah, I have no interest in what Ron Rivera is doing there. Don't care. Nakobe Dean, come on, do something exciting.
I mean, that is exciting, man.
If they were able to get Dean and the kid from Washington in the first round, I'm not mad. I would not be mad. I'd be like, that is an awesome first round draft.
You can't fuck this up. You just don't take Fedarian Mathis type player and you win.
Yeah.
Like
Dean or Pickens, and I'm okay.
Don't take a Pascal type player and you win. Dean or Pickens, maybe. Don't take Sky Moore. Please don't take Sky Moore.
No. He's not. No.
We have a minute 30 left. We still don't know. This is crazy.
Yeah, they caught up because the Bears. It's so funny. The Bears are gonna. They got a minute till.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
I guarantee you, it's because they're trying to call everyone and see who they can trade.
They
back
should be.
I guarantee you.
But it's almost too late. You have a minute to do it. Come on. I mean, you can't.
Well, they're probably saying, anyone want Dean? Anybody?
Yeah, they're probably just shopping it right now.
Does anyone want Robert Quinn? Does anyone want Dave?
I mean, I'd be mad if they were like, "Oh, we're good at linebacker because we picked up that Colts guy." Don't do that. Like, they have like a Mike linebacker.
Well, they got Nicholas Morrow.
Yeah, Morrow. No. You got to take the talent here, man.
All right, they can't trade back, dude. What are they, dude? They're taking.
You don't take a D tackle. No.
I think. Hey, I'm off Twitter. I'm not gonna.
All right. We'll just look at it then. We'll just look at it.
Don't look at Shane. Don't look at the comments.
Don't look at the comments.
Hold on. This seems like stand up, but yeah, I'm with you, Kevin. This is stand up opportunity. Pick us in.
Come on.
Don't fuck it up. Don't take Alec Pierce, bro. Don't take Alec Pierce, bro. Come on.
The future's in your hands, Ryan Poles. The future's in your hands. You do not Phil Emery this. Do not
Phil Emery this.
It's hard
for he's staying up. He's staying up.
Nervous as hell.
Stay off.
All right. Stay off. Here we go. Come
Stay
on.
Off, bro.
Perfect. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's make this exciting, man. I could see Nakobe Dean on a billboard selling Ford trucks. Right on 290. He's got the billboard. And he's like, I'll smash the competition.
Big old Silverados for sale.
Yeah, right. He's a Silverado guy. Right.
I can guarantee you they're talking about, hey, do we take Pickens here? Who the fuck? Oh, is this Sean Evans?
I don't care.
I'm behind you guys.
Evans is up on.
I think that's Sean. It's Sean. Hot Ones. You watch that show, Kel?
I've seen like bits and pieces, but I've seen the Idris Elba episode. That's about it.
Yeah, all right. I'll take that.
Come on, baby.
I'll take that. Not the best.
I haven't seen it.
Evans.
Okay, Brisker.
Yeah, not as exciting.
Wow.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
wow.
All right, so they're going secondary. I mean, I get it.
It's not sexy.
Yeah.
Okay, but listen, you've got 5 spots now covered, 4 for sure starters, and if Thomas Graham is a guy for you, you got 5 starters in the back end. All of them except Eddie Jackson are now on rookie contracts. That's solid. So now that's the strength of your team. You're saying no one's going to beat us in the air.
What do we know about Brisker? What do we know?
So Brisker's a fast player, man. He attacks the football. That's what I saw out of him when I watched his tape. He attacks. He's a ball hawk. And he's a blitzer as well. I liked what I saw out of Brisker. I just didn't know if they were going to take a safety in that spot. But he's similar to Jalen Petrie in that aspect. I think in the versatility he provides, the ability to come off and blitz off the edge, which I think is what you're going to see a lot from Matt Eberflus. But I know, Kel, you can say more about him.
Yeah, no, I think you're right though. I think Petrie's a little bit more of like a guy you can really rely on, as this clip they just showed disproves me. But I think Petrie's a little bit a guy you can rely on more in the slot cover those slot receivers and tight ends. I think Brisker's a tier below when it comes to how good he is at that, if that makes sense, but still a guy that can do a lot of the same things. He's going to fill in the run game, which is a huge thing that everyone's doing right now with 2 high safeties. Eddie Jackson is best when it comes to he can have a guy that can complement him while he roams the middle, but he's going to have to learn how to be that reliable split field guy, and I think Brisker's a guy to share that with him. I think that's a good pick. This is kind of what I wanted back in 2020. I thought it was going to be Antoine Winfield and Jalen Johnson. Instead, it was Komet. That's fine, whatever. We're getting it here in 2022. Your back end is filled now. You got 4 starters, maybe a 5th with Graham. I'm fine. I'm all right with that.
And again, I am fine with not taking offensive players this early. I think the Bears have had no good track record of hitting second-round wide receivers. This is not there. There's been a run on him. Christian Watson's gone. I mean, obviously something's up with George Pickens, who's dropping. So, I mean, I think that the only problem I see right now is that these 2 high picks who could be serviceable starters for the Chicago Bears for the next 5 years, you're just not helping Justin Fields. Now, I don't know if that's going to be I don't know if that would have happened anyway. I don't know if George Pickens helps Justin Fields in a way that at the NFL level. So I'm not that concerned about it, but you know me. I mean, I'm a defensive guy. I like it. I like that you just put money into a safety. This is a safety town. We like our safeties. We like our linebackers. We like our defense. If you can get pressure up front, that still remains to be seen with this defense. Matt Eberflus could have a 4-3 defense that was reminiscent of what they were doing 2-3 years ago in Indianapolis, where they were ball hawking, and it pretty much got them into the playoffs. You know, like that was. Remember, they got into the playoffs because there was a defense that was a top notch. Everybody else, their offense wasn't so great. But I mean, it's great. I hope that this is a good sign. This is what I'll say about this: is it's a good sign because the Bears are going to have what, $120 million next year. You know,
I think 123 is what they're scheduled for right now.
They can spend that money on impact players on the offensive side of the ball. They can go get DK Metcalf. They can go get one of these big receivers. Right. They can go get, ready-made Super Bowl talent and rely on they don't have to go get a Tyrann Mathieu. They don't have to go get a linebacker to cut because they got these guys. So I feel good about it. I'm a little bit concerned at this point that they're a little weak in the defensive tackle on the defensive line.
I think they're okay. You know,
obviously that free agent screwed up with the knee injury, and that was a bummer. Maybe they get him
back. Justin Jackson instead, though. Yeah,
Justin Jones.
Justin Jones.
Justin Jones.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think the Bears got a lot that I would like to see them in free agency pick up, like you said, a Julio Jones or somebody who could just at least be a one for them while they can keep throwing the ball to Darnell Mooney. But I like it. I'm all down with secondary. I love it.
And let me say, look, there's a lot of Bears fans saying, why do the Bears hate Justin Fields? Why do the Bears hate offense? What are we doing? 2 defensive picks. You have to look beyond the wide receiver position. Look at the offense as a whole. This is a talented offensive personnel unit when you look at it. I mean, you have the running back room figured out with 2 really strong running backs. You have the O-line pretty much, with addition of probably 1 5th-round guard, you've got that pretty much figured out. You got a tight end who you think with the right development can be a guy who can be reliable for you. And then you've got really good, young, fast wide receivers. This isn't an offense that is light years away from being an efficient offense. Like, let's not sit here and say that, I would honestly make the case that if you're looking at both sides of the ball, you had to address defense more than you had to address offense. If you just look at one side being superior to the other, I think the offense as a unit had more pieces there than the defense as a unit. So that's why I think you saw them go defense 2 picks in a row here. I mean, that's where I'm at with how you evaluate them taking 2 defensive players. They're 1 wide receiver away. They're multiple position groups away on the defensive side. And that's
the best thing is that, think about it. They were terrible at turning the ball over.
Exactly.
Like, they could not get an interception to save their life. And they've got 2 guys here who are aggressive, and hopefully will have skills that will, for the next 4 years, we'll start seeing turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. And that's huge. Guys, I got to run. Awesome. I like it. Awesome, Kellen, to broadcast with you. Kev,
appreciate you, man.
Talk to you soon. And go Bears. I like it.
Go Bears, bear down.
Peace out. All right, man. I mean, so they take 2 defensive guys. And, more about Brisker, I'm seeing a lot about his ability to cover in the slot and his ability to play in the box. And I think these are things that really do align with the Matt Eberflus defense from a scheme standpoint. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
I think let's say I'll like it, don't love it. You do need to focus on your quarterback, but again, I guess you just have to trust that the plan is in place. There are guys that are slipping. You like Calvin Austin. I don't like Sky Moore in the second. If we get Sky Moore in the third, maybe.
That's okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But, still got Justin Ross. Still got George Pickens, who's fallen for a reason. There's guys that are there. Someone's going to be available. I've told you about Ed Ingram, Dylan Parham. There's guys in the third round. They're going to be fine. They do have to go offense in the third round, I think.
Absolutely.
Whoever it is, whatever spot they get, they've got to go offense. I'm fine with the first two. People on Twitter are going to be like, oh, they hate Justin Fields this, they hate Justin Fields that. And if you're a George Pickens guy like me and you really hate it, then fine, be that as it may. But you can't reach for a guy you don't trust in his tape. It just doesn't make any sense. You lose games by that. You lose your job by doing that.
Good point. And you look at who the Saints just took, Alontae Taylor. The Bears got the better of the two safeties there between Alontae Taylor and Jaquan Brisker, in my opinion. So if you want to compare those two, I think you got good value. Again, there's people who thought Brisker could be,
first round safety,
maybe even very early in the second round. The value has been there. And I think with both of these players, you got Kyla Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, two very, very physical players, two guys who are going to bring a lot of intensity to the defense. And you think about what the Eberflus mindset and what the Poles mindset is and what you want to build. You're building a defense full of players who are going to play physically and play hard. And that is exactly what Eberflus said the moment he came in as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. He said, look, get your running shoes on. This is a team that's going to run a lot. This is a team that's going to be relentless. And you got two players who exhibit that pretty much to a T. So that's what you like most, Kel, is the fact that you're getting guys who align with what you want. You know what I mean? Yep. You found guys exactly who you want as far as your defensive and team mindset mentality goes. So you can't be upset about that. You just can't.
Yep. Something's going on, man. Someone must have visited the University of Georgia, and Nakobe Dean and George Pickens were snorting cocaine or something. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that here, but they must have been doing something bad. They must have been doing something terrible, or maybe those injuries are just worse than people thought. I don't know. George Pickens played in the national championship. Nakobe Dean, we didn't hear anything about him being injured. I don't know what this slide is. Last year it happened to Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, but we all knew he had an injury. The history was there.
Right.
This year, I have no idea, man. I don't know what's going on.
It's insane. Now, the thing that does scare me, I was dead set on the Bears trading down at some point. I was, because I think you need
more picks.
I think you need more picks. You just do. And I don't know if they're going to be at position on the third round to trade down. You know what I mean? Because at that point, I think a wide receiver could fall to them. But let's say the Kansas City Chiefs just traded. Who'd they trade with? With the Patriots. The Patriots are taking Nakobe Dean without a doubt. But do you get to a point where a wide receiver you like falls enough for the Bears to trade up, maybe using a pick from next year or a player? If maybe. It's Pickens or Calvin Austin?
Maybe, man.
Because when was the last time a wide receiver was picked? It was Indy that took Wan'Dale Robinson. There's only been, two in this whole round with Watson and Wan'Dale?
It was Wan'Dale and Mechie. He went –
and Mechie and Watson.
Whoever was after
So that run on wide receivers is bound to come, is it not?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
And Shane makes a great point. Yeah,
you got to
trade down now.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a good enough value in the third round to trade down.
What about this? All right, so say, Pickens, Tolbert, Sky Moore, Calvin Austin get taken before the Bears' next pick. Is it too early in the third round? What is it, pick 71 or 75? I can't remember.
I think 71.
Is it 71?
Yeah, go check for me. But I think so. Yeah, 71.
Is it too early to take Justin Ross? Because that's my guy, and I know how you feel about him too. You like him, right? What is your evaluation?
Yeah, I got a high grade on Justin Ross. He's a guy that when we talk about the draft and we're watching players, we always say a guy has juice or not. Justin Ross isn't the most juiced up guy, but very technical, very quick. He doesn't have amazing long speed. He's not going to threaten you vertically a lot, but he's still a guy that can win jump balls. Go back to his freshman season. He made some of the best catches in the entire country in the national championship game against guys like Pat Surtain, Trayvon Diggs, guys who went on to be successful NFL corners and are still young in that aspect. But, he had the injury
was out of football for a year. But I thought when I watched his 2021 tape, I thought I saw a guy who could be that second or third round pick for a team that could be a wide receiver too, a guy that you can rely on to move the chains, sit over the middle, find space. I think Justin Ross is very, very good at being able to find and maneuver in open space. Clemson's offense is very vanilla. It's not good schematically, and he's going to have to learn coming to the NFL. But he's going to be a guy that's going to run routes fine. He's going to catch the ball fine. He's going to make spectacular catches. He's probably not going to be a guy that separates on a consistent basis. But you face a zone-heavy team. You face a team that you can rub a lot against. You got a guy like Darnell Mooney who they're going to have to fear rubbing in open space. You got a guy like Justin Ross who can sit in open space. I like it. And I'm talking like he's on the Bears already, but I like Justin Ross, and I know you do too.
I mean, it seems like it could shake out that way. And there's a lot of people that say, from what I've read and what, and even what I watched, that, you have to evaluate him off that 2019 tape, that freshman year tape when he had 1,000+ yards and 11 TDs without even starting. Because you have to see what happened the year after that, after Trevor Lawrence got drafted. And then you had a change in scheme with the Clemson offense that was different. And, of course, the injury history for him is also what's causing him to fall. But if you were able to take him in the third round, that's more of a risk you're willing to take there instead of a Kevin White at the 7th overall pick of the 2015 draft. You know what I mean? You're more comfortable taking an injury prone player there in the third round versus the first round. And again, like you're forced to take wide receiver in the third round. Like, I'm sorry, because you went defense twice, I'm fine with them doing that, but you have now put yourself in a position where you might have to reach for a wide receiver or trade down, but it has to be a receiver mindset in the third round, 100%.
I think the Patriots just took a receiver that I did not think was going to get drafted until day 3. I think it's Taekwon Thornton. He's the guy who ran 1,400.
They just took Taekwon Thornton?
I think so. Very Patriots move of them, but
to trade up for Taekwon Thornton? Are you fucking kidding me?
I hope I'm right, because if I'm not, then
Shane says so. Dude, this could be an all-time bad draft for the Patriots if that's true.
It is Taekwon Thornton. Draft Network just tweeted it.
Oh my God.
Christ.
Do you know what that's going to be? That's going to be what's his name? I'm forgetting the name. Bengals drafted him. No. Who ran the fastest 40-yard dash time in NFL history at the time? John
Ross. Yeah.
They love the speed. They reached for a guy who should not be taken in the second round. Should not be taken in the second round. Simple as that. I mean, this is a 5th round pick. This is a 5th round pick. You're not telling me Taekwon Thornton's better than Calvin Austin, George Pickens. He might be better than Sky Moore because that's how low I am on Sky Moore. But he's not better than Jalen Tolbert. I mean, what are we doing?
That's a weird pick, man. I can't get behind that.
My God.
He's kind of skinny. Alec Pierce is still on the board. I think Alec Pierce is a good 3rd round pick. I like George Pickens a lot more, but
I'm not high on Alec
Justin Ross too.
I'm not that high on Alec Pierce. Wow. I mean, that's twice now.
Yeah, they've reached
Patriots
twice.
have reached for no reason.
Did you see the video of McVay and the rest of the Rams staff when they drafted Cole Strange?
Got drafted?
Yeah.
That was great. Because that was the rest of the world, too. Like, what the hell are you doing?
I call you at 10 o'clock.
Holy shit.
See, now, like, this is what I'm talking like the Bears fans are going to be like, the Bears need to help Justin Fields. They need to da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, if everyone in the NFL's board right now had Taekwon Thornton as the best receiver available, that would have been a bad pick. You can't do that. You cannot make that pick. You couldn't do it at the Bears pick. You couldn't do it at 50. You can't do it at all tonight because he's not good enough to do it.
Great point. You're absolutely right. And that they went for the best player available. Did they not? Did they not do exactly what you say they would, Kellen? Pretty much, aside from Dean, but there's obviously something on Dean we don't know. They went for that best player available with Gordon, and then with Brisker there. I mean,
that stuff matters to NFL teams more than it does to people like us. Our jobs are not on the line. We're not getting paid millions of dollars to scout and draft these players. There's a lot more, uncertainty within NFL offices. And I'm not saying that's always the right thing to do because it's worked out for guys that have taken chances on guys that have fell like that. But we don't know what it is or what's going on. Otherwise, those guys would have been taken. We all saw the tape, and NFL GMs are bad at their job and they take bad players, as we just saw with Taekwon Thornton. But I'm fine. I'm totally fine with the second round haul the Bears got. Totally fine with it.
Me too. You got two good players, man. I mean, you got two first round talents. I mean, how can you be upset with that right now?
Yeah.
Wow. This has just been one of the weirder drafts in my opinion. Just from the trades we saw in the first round, from the lack of quarterbacks, how Malik Willis hasn't been taken blows my mind. From the reaches on players and from the falls on guys who should not fall this far. I mean, it is. It's mind-boggling. When is the next team that's going to take Malik Willis? If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm kicking myself that I could have taken Malik Willis at 52 and I took Kenny Pickett at 21. Are you fucking kidding me? That's terrible. Trey McBride. And here, someone posed this question to me on our last podcast, Cal. They said, what are the odds about Jeremy Ruckert being paired maybe in the 5th round with Justin Fields?
I think that's about where he should go, 5th, 6th round.
What would you think about it, though? You don't really need it. I mean, maybe you do. The way you evaluate Cole Kmet, maybe you think that's a position in need. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think you need it at all. But I think if you get to day 5, then I think you're really drafting the best player available. And if he's the best guy there, that's fine. I wouldn't like bow my head like, oh my God, we got Jeremy Ruckert. But I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a terrible pick if that makes any sense. Because someone out there might give you like a 3rd round pick for Cole Kmet. You might be able to finesse someone for that. I mean, hell, the Cardinals only gave up a 2nd round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. There are dumb teams out there. Teams will do stupid things. So, never know what they'll do. That's like such a hindsight thing to say. But I mean, just keep taking the best player. Steelers got Pickens. Shane, you just hurt me with that one.
Why? What do you think he's going to fall all the way to 71? Come on now.
No, I didn't. I can hold out hope, though. That's rough. That's all right, though.
Grizzlies versus Wolves. When are they ending this draft? God damn. I know I love John Morant, but not yet. You got to watch. So the Colts take Alec Pierce. So the Colts took Pierce. So here we go. Okay, so here's what's happening, Justin. Or not Justin. Here's what's happening, man. Here's the run. So now teams are going to panic. Oh, shit. These guys are going now. We got to take, boom, Sky Moore. Fuck, man. The Bears got to take they got to hope Calvin Austin falls to them, but he's not. He's not falling to them. Calvin Austin is not going to fall to 71, I don't think. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, this is rough. This is rough.
It's Justin Ross. It was always Justin Ross.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Who else? Khalil Shakir, Jalen Tolbert, Justin Ross. I'm not a big Romeo Dubs. I'm not a big Danny Gray.
No, I'm not a big
Reggie Roberson. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the Bears are planning a trade for some middle-of-the-road receiver in the NFL, maybe like I don't know.
They don't need a
James
trade
Washington,
for anyone.
something like that. No.
James Washington. Look, there's Jarvis Landry, Julio Jones. There's veteran free agents available. If you get yourself a talented player in the 3rd round, you pair that, you say it's Justin Ross, okay? You get Darnell Mooney, Justin Ross, Byron Pringle, and fucking Jarvis Landry. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. That's an upgrade. But, man, I don't know, man. It seems who's gonna take who's perfect for the Kansas City Chiefs, Calvin Austin.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, they need a receiver, dude. They lost Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. Sammy Watkins is now a Packer. McCole Hardman's your number one. Did they pick up anybody else? Not that I can remember.
Valdez-Scantling, I think. But that's about it.
Valdez-Scantling?
He doesn't move the needle for them, in my opinion. Chase Claypool. Cringe.
He's going to make a TikTok, man.
He'll make a TikTok about the draft.
That's awkward.
That is awkward.
You're not good enough, so we drafted another guy. Nah, I mean, they lost Juju. Oh, did Juju? Juju went to the Chiefs. That's what I'm Chiefs.
Yeah, we totally forgot about that. Yeah.
But you're not moving the needle with that.
All right, so you got Pickens, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson. Okay.
Look, I'm fine with the Bears not to. I don't think the Bears are missing out. I don't. I don't think they're missing out on Pickens. Just not.
Hey, that's fine, man. You are a lot of. I think Pickens is one of the most polarizing, split opinion guys in the draft.
Easily,
especially because he just didn't have the best. He wasn't on the field in 2021.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he can make some damn good plays. That's for sure. Yeah. But man,
how would you say 53 was Alec Pierce?
Yeah, Colts Pierce. Oh.
That's funny that Claypool announced that pick.
Anthony Costanzo? That's random. Wow. See, I just hate the casuals like this guy on Twitter.
What do you say?
He's just posting Justin Fields. He's saying, where's the help for Justin? No. Again, we no. Like, and I don't know if you kind of heard my little rant about when I was talking to Justin, was the Bears were a worse unit on defense. They were a worse unit on defense than they were on offense overall as a unit, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You go after the unit that's worse. They are the biggest position of need is receiver. The biggest unit of need is defense, and that's what they did. I mean, outside of the wide receiver room, I'm fine with what the Bears have offensively. Maybe get another guard or a veteran that you can find. Even if you don't, I'm okay with what they have.
Yeah, I'd love another interior lineman. But I think there's still a lot of time till training camp comes, man. You're going to have time to make signings, to make whatever move you want. They've got to have a plan. They have to, because they know that the city, ownership, the team, they all know the entire game, the entire franchise revolves around one man. He's number one.
Exactly.
He wears number one. Everyone knows it. They got to have a plan for him, because they know if they don't, that they're going to lose their job. They're going to be out of there.
Exactly. You've solidified what you need to solidify, with Justin. But you're right. And that's why there's people who are mad, though, Kellen, is that, are you doing enough? Are you doing enough right now to support that guy? I just don't know. And shit. We'll see, man.
Rappaport just tweeted, Pickens was a passenger in a car crash a week ago, cited for not wearing a seatbelt with his head hitting the windshield. He was left scraped, but okay, both vehicles wrecked.
So that's why he fell?
Yeah.
Because he was in a car crash?
Yeah. With no seatbelt on.
So was Nakobe Dean in the car?
That's a great question. I have no idea. Someone should comment.
My
that.
God.
Was Nakobe Dean in the car with him?
Wow. Well, I mean, I don't know what that says about him, but Put a seatbelt on. Man. Click it or ticket, buddy. Yeah, click it or ticket, George. Did the Chiefs just take Sky Moore?
I think they did, yes.
No. Wait, did they?
Yes, they did. You know what that feels like? That feels like the Rams taking Tutu Atwell in the second round last year. That's exactly what that feels
really
like.
Good. Look, here's what I saw out of Sky Moore. I saw a guy who did not separate at all against MAC players. I mean, every one of his highlights that I'm watching is contested catches with 0 yards of separation. For a guy who's that short and that small, that ain't gonna work in the NFL, buddy. You got to get separation. That has to be, that has to be your thing.
Your big thing, yeah.
And I didn't see that. Did you? I mean, that's what scared me the hell out of him.
I didn't watch a lot of Sky Moore. I knew one guy that really was on the Sky Moore train, but I mean, I didn't really know anyone else that was talking about him too much. And
I can't make the mistake of like speaking on a guy that I haven't watched, because I think a lot of people do that, but I'm not on that. I can't be like Sky Moore in the second. I wouldn't love that. I couldn't say I would.
I mean, it seemed like Calvin Austin was the perfect fit for them. Perfect fit. And I don't know. I mean, I guess Sky Moore always had the higher grade. So I guess that's why they did that. I'm putting on my tweet right now. It has to be Justin Ross or Calvin Austin III. It has to be. But Kellen worries me. I don't know if Justin Ross is going to fall that far at this rate. I mean, you just saw the running wide receivers go. Now, Jalen Tolbert's available. And after him, who is it?
Nobody. A bunch of guys that you're hoping can be like a wide receiver 3 for you. Khalil Shakir, Braylon Sanders maybe. But those are like day 3 guys in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cardinals take Trey McBride.
Cardinals take okay, weird pick, but all right.
Still no to Kobe Dean. If Justin were still on the show, he'd be, what the fuck? Let's trade up. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Interesting draft for the Chiefs so far.
Yeah.
Here's Tony Gonzalez.
I like the Chiefs first round.
Yeah, Karlaftis and
McDuffie. Yeah.
Get over here. What's in it?
Sky with 2 eyes.
Guy with 2 eyes, man. That's just one of those things where as parents are like, all right, we're going to name him something, but let's make it a little unique. Let's just tag on an extra Y.
Yeah, Ben Albright. Fuck Ben Albright, by the way. Just tweeted. And not just tweeted, but like at 8, 40 minutes ago, tweeted Nakobe Dean slide, not surprising given the medicals. What medicals?
What medicals?
David Ajabo, right. David Ajabo, George Pickens, John Mechie. What are we talking about? What fucking medicals?
This is the worst pick of the draft. Sky Moore.
Man. Yeah, this is weird. This is a weird draft so far.
What did I say, man? And we talked about this before on our pregame show with Jake. I said, man, this is going to be the most unpredictable draft. Yeah. And it has been, man. I mean, we didn't even know for the first time in like 10 years who was going to go first overall. We didn't know how many quarterbacks should be taken in the first round. We had absolutely zero clue. And I'm just, I don't know. I'm trying to see who else I like at wide receiver right now.
Yeah, there's not many names out there
that I love.
Yeah, besides Ross and Austin.
It's annoying because I really liked Taekwon Thornton in like round 5,
Yeah.
And there he goes in the second round. I swear, if they take David Bell, I'll walk off this set immediately.
Yeah, I didn't even mention his name. But there's a reason why.
I don't think he's gonna be taken. You talk about fitting the mold for what Jose Eberflus want. They want explosive players, and he's not that at all.
He is not. No.
What? Where's my coat?
Yeah.
It's right there. What you say?
Velus Jones Jr. is a name.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Naylor. Kyle Phillips. Golly, man. Watch you sign up with Bo Melton.
I'm trying to think of guys I saw at the Senior Bowl. Oh, I was at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Velus Jones was there. Christian Watson, Calvin Austin. You know who's a corner whose name I haven't heard that I thought was going to go like top 3 rounds was Mario Goodrich, who's the other Clemson corner. I thought he was very, very good. But haven't heard much about him since the Senior Bowl. Let me go ahead and check the roster to remember who.
What about Marcus Jones?
Corner from Houston, yeah. He's good. I like him.
Good returner. Like him.
Yep. Khalil Shakir, Romeo Doubs, Bo Melton.
Hey, did Elam get taken?
Kair, yeah. He went.
He was the first rounder, right?
Yeah. Buffalo, I think.
Right. Very Buffalo pick. I don't know why.
Yeah.
This sounds like a Buffalo pick. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom.
All
Keep the people entertained, Cal.
I will try. Trey Turner, Danny Gray, Ontario Drummond. Quez Ezard. That's rough. Dallas. Nakobe Dean might have like committed genocide or something like that.
I mean, Dallas and Buffalo aren't going to take him. We have linebackers.
Boo. Okay. Sam Williams. There you go. Shout out to Lorenz, NFLPA Collegiate Bowl player.
Okay, now I know.
What?
They took a linebacker.
I mean, he's a defensive end. The linebacker, he's an edge. I don't know why they said they called someone yesterday a linebacker that was a defensive end. Was it Johnson? I can't remember, but they called someone that. Buffalo.
What were you saying?
I was talking about a roommate.
Buffalo trades to the Bucks.
Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Okay.
What do they need?
I don't know, McBride went. I don't think there's a tight end worth taking here. Don't know, man. This is the part of the draft where it's just like, yeah, I have no idea who they're gonna take because now you're getting into that 60s range. Now you're really getting into guys that are day 2 value. You know, Pickens. I think like Nakobe Dean is like the last one on day 1 that I think you could say is like that's a day 1 football player.
Yeah.
But,
so, how do you grade the Bears draft thus far? Letter grade.
As far as taking good players on the board, A-. As far as like, you know, what everyone will want, like a B. I don't think you don't do anything less than a B minus. You got 2 immediate starters for your football team, and you're adding to probably what's your best unit on your football team as well in your secondary, which is fine. Everyone's just going to flip out because they didn't take, receivers or O-line.
Yeah.
And, that's what people do. That's what casual fans do. That's what happens.
That is what
I want a receiver just as much as the next guy. I want a George Pickens, but again, like I said, I mean, these guys are putting in hours and hours of work, and there's a lot of red flags. If a guy is red flagged, he might not be on the board. They might not have looked at all at George Pickens. They might have heard something that Nakobe Dean is off their board, whatever reason that may be. Not saying that it's smart, but it happens.
I go B plus for that reason right now.
B plus, yeah, I think that's fair.
Going B plus, and this could be an A plus draft, an A plus draft if they get lucky enough to get a good wide receiver here in the third round. This could be an A plus draft because if you get a good value pick, you're not going to get a guy who's supposed to be a first round, early second round talent. It's just not going to happen.
All that's gone. Mm-hmm.
All that's gone. You're done with that. You've reached the point, like you said, of the draft where that's over. But you could get you now have to think about value, and if you get a guy who is drafted later than where he was supposed to be drafted, that's a win. That's what you need. And to me, that could be Calvin Austin, maybe be Justin Ross. And it sucks. We have to play the waiting game for that now. And now we're sweating more than we did earlier because 10 picks ago, all the wide receivers were on the board. And then the 3 in a row went and really threw a wrench into everything. But, we'll see. Oh, God.
I will.
Who's winning the draft right now? New York?
Buffalo. I'm not sorry, Buffalo. Baltimore, in my opinion. I'll go Baltimore.
Because you were huge on Linderbaum, right?
Yeah. I think the Giants were really good round 1. I didn't like the Wan'Dale Robinson pick in round 2, so I think I'd give it to Baltimore. I said, you probably saw it, but I tweeted out back like February, March. Linderbaum and Kyle Hamilton, in my opinion, were the 2 best football players in the class. They just played 2 positions that are considered less valuable. That's just how the NFL is. But they picked 2 of the best football players in the draft, and then they got David Ojabo, who was another one, who was a guy that was probably first round talent, top 25, top 20 talent. So they got all those guys in double digits, and one of them in the second round. I think Tyler Linderbaum's like an all-pro center the first couple years in the league. Like he's like a Creed Humphrey type of football player. He can move the needle for you like that.
Good point.
Baltimore Ravens. I don't know what he is. Luke Gadecki. Okay. He was also, I think he was at the Senior Bowl.
Trade up for him. Interesting choice. Man. Wait. Oh, I got to switch off ESPN. ESPN.
Oh, what are you doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Yeah.
NFL Network. Dang, man. ESPN really look, and let's be honest. I love the NBA.
Not showing the draft anymore, so
draft matters
We're going
more.
to ESPN 2.
2, really?
ESPN 2.
That's subpar. Can we put the Yankee on? 2 is like the stuff that they don't want to show.
The Yankees are stuff they don't want to show.
No, it's on Apple TV.
Got to pay for that. Yeah, my roommate's a big Yankees guy.
Oh yeah, hell no.
He plays on the D2 team.
Oh, baseball?
Yeah.
Who's your roommate?
Jacob Garcia. Pitcher.
Don't know him. Dang, man. All right, we back to NFL Network. Where we're supposed to belong, I guess.
I'm on ESPN 2. I can head to NFL Network though.
I think they probably get released at like the same time, but
that was so weird. I just switched right to basketball.
I know.
With no warning.
Ready. Here we go. Memphis versus Minnesota.
And I'll be happy to watch that game, but not right now.
Not right now. Is that a it's game 6, isn't it? In Memphis up 3-2.
Yeah.
Wow. Trying to put a little post for Instagram right now. Oh, Kyla Gordon hype post. Oh my God. He's gonna be so.
Kyla
good.
Gordon's good, man. I'll pick some clips out that you can.
Oh, we're doing a breakdown on Kyla Gordon, man.
Yeah, that'll be good.
We're doing a breakdown on him. We can do one on Brisker too. We've got some people in the Big Ten who like Brisker a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now Brisker was a good pick, man. I like that. I like him as a player. I'm not gonna say like, oh, they blew the, that's an A+ pick or anything, because it's not. It's not a super sexy pick, but I mean that's a good player that, like I said, it's gonna contribute. You're trying to make your football team better in the draft. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the best available players that can do that. And that's what they felt that's who that was. That's who the guy was for them. That's fine. Perfectly fine.
Yep, I agree. I don't remember Brisker. What did he do against Ohio State?
They held that offense in check for a while.
They did.
That was a pretty low-scoring game for Ohio State.
Yeah,
they got the big scoop and score from Jerron Cage that game. That was one of their scores. I think I think it might have been like 30-17.
You ran right into my camera for that one. I remember that one very well.
He's a very large human being. I've met him, talked to him a couple of times. Good dude, but dude was definitely out of breath after that touchdown.
Oh yeah,
33-24.
Okay, I got you.
See.
So there you
I'll
go.
have to go back and watch that game.
Doing it against the best, which you always like to see. All right, guys. All right, we're 13 picks away from the Bears' next pick. I'm gonna have to pop open a seltzer pretty soon here.
Yeah, I got some warm seltzers over there too. I don't know if I pop one. I don't know if I'm on there. Yeah, Troy Anderson. Okay.
Shane, our guy. Shane's been in every single show since we started this shit. I know he's all in on Austin.
Yeah, man. And he's had some good takes. Pringle's underrated. Honestly, I couldn't say that he is, just because of the team look at the guys he's played with. Look at the team he was on. Now he could absolutely be a guy who gets away from Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman, the rest of that offense, come to the Bears and be some sort of jack, however they use them. And you're right. I mean, you said it, Landry, Julio Jones, a couple of guys that are there. The people have to understand. Yes, we have to get Justin Fields through this year. The only thing that matters this year is, do we see Justin Fields take the next step? And that might not mean that guy throws 25, 30 touchdown passes. That means, do we see him process quicker? Is he getting to the top of his drop faster? Are his eyes moving faster? Is he avoiding pressure better? Is he taking less risks? Is he making less mistakes? That's what matters, right? That's what we want to see. Next year is the year. Next year's the year where we're like, it's time to take the North back.
Correct. I mean, you're
Ed Ingram. Damn it.
That was your guy. So talk about Ed Ingram. That was the guy you texted me earlier. You said keep your eye on him in the third round. He goes a little earlier than anticipated. What did you like about him so much?
Just a physical, just a guard that moved well. He's not like a guy that will maul you consistently. His consistency is his biggest problem. But a guy who has solid technique, can pull outside, can square pull inside, picks up blitzers well, moves his feet well, stays square. Does a lot of things well for a guard. And guards in the third round, second round, you can find guys that will be very good football players for you. And he won best lineman down at the Senior Bowl, best offensive lineman, played in the SEC, so he's battle-tested. Uh-huh. Unfortunately, the Vikings got him, so that's not fun. Now they've got Ed Ingram and Wyatt Davis at guard, so. Shit. And they got Darrisaw. But, hey, man, you gotta line up and beat them.
I mean, the Bears have had no issues beating Minnesota, whether it's with Mitch Trubisky or whoever. I'm not worried about whatever the hell. I'm not like nothing they do worries me ever. As long as Kirk Cousins is your quarterback, I'm fine.
And they always seem to play down to the Bears level too. So
always
I'm cool with that.
Always. I'm trying to put the Kyla Gordon pick into a little caption on Instagram. I'll say a physical corner with high upside. Is that how you would describe? How would you describe Kyla Gordon in 2 sentences?
Excellent movement, versatile, physical. I like the physical part, and I think he's gonna have to get used to getting up in guys' faces and putting their hands on them.
Washington does a lot of soft press, which means you're obviously pressing at the line of scrimmage, but you're not shooting your hands. They like to get in their back pedal. I think he's going to have to rely on his hands a little bit more. But I'd say excellent mover, battle tested, played special teams, lots of college reps, and has an upward trend as far as his college career goes. So take from that what you want.
I'm typing it out, man. So there you go. I mean,
Bengals traded up.
Bengals trade up with who? One of my friends who's a Falcons fan just said, once again, I hate life. So I don't know. He wanted Willis. Trade. The Bengals just traded with who? Did they just trade with the Falcons?
Buffalo.
Is that why?
Buffalo. They're at 60. Atlanta took Troy Anderson, who's the linebacker from Montana State.
Okay.
He was at the Senior Bowl, but I didn't watch the linebackers.
Hey, as long as so we're getting close again. We're getting close, and we need to start having these wide receivers. We need to start having these wide receivers fall a little bit again. I mean, we're 10 picks, we're 11 picks away. As long as, what if Jalen Tolbert falls? We haven't done a whole deep dive on him yet. I saw a player who I liked. I didn't love, especially considering where he came from. Didn't wow me on the tape. But your evaluation of Jalen Tolbert, some people had a first-round grade on him. And it was sort of like it was like that area between Pickens, Tolbert, Watson. I think those three was like who's going to go first of the three, who's going to go last. It was sort of a toss-up. So what's good with Jalen Tolbert?
I think he kind of lost steam toward the end of the draft cycle, but eats up cushion, long speed, long legs, big frame. Another guy that I didn't get a great look at. I think I watched him more in the summer of last year. Lorenz could actually talk about him a lot. I think Lorenz did a really deep dive on him. But whoever the Bears pick, we're going to dive into after. Because whoever they pick, I'm going to hop on tape tonight, and I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to be like, all right, let's see what we got. And you can't really grade him out because the draft is over. But we'll talk about all that matters is what can he be, right? The only thing that matters about your evaluation is what can we make this guy into? What are we confident that we can turn this football player into on our team?
Right. Absolutely. That's a good point. You make a good point, man, because in the past you had a coaching staff and a regime that wasn't willing to work with the strengths of a certain player and tailor to those strengths and work on developing the weaknesses, right? I mean, you were trying to fit square pegs into circular holes, as who infamously said that? It was why am I blanking on the previous Giants head coach, Joe Judge.
Joe Judge.
He infamously said that, and after he said that quote, I think all Giants fans were like, "Oh my God, like we got such a great smart guy, like he's gonna be so good." But
Joe
that quote
was so bad.
He was terrible.
That's a good quote. Yeah,
he was brutal. But when he said that, I was like, you know what? You're right, because we have a coach right now he's exactly trying to fit square pegs into circular holes. He doesn't know how to tailor to the strengths of his players. Hopefully, you have a staff that can do that now. I mean, that's key. So we'll see, man. San Francisco, KC, Buffalo, Denver. KC took a wide receiver. San Francisco might need one after trading Debo. Buffalo, Denver. Denver doesn't need one. Jacksonville doesn't need one. Minnesota doesn't need one. Tennessee does need one. No, they just.
It's got to be offense. I think Justin Ross. I think it's Justin Ross, man. Let's manifest it, Kevin.
You want to manifest Justin Ross
to the Bears? Manifest Justin Ross to the Bears, man.
All right, let's manifest him for the next 20 minutes before this pick. Look, Justin Ross, like I said before, to me, he has a ceiling to be the best wide receiver in the draft. Like if he's healthy enough, and if the explosiveness is still there, which is some concern, does he have the same explosiveness as we saw his freshman year? We don't know, but I think he's talent-wise, he might be the most purely raw talented player aside from a Wilson, Olave, or Williams. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I'll read you my blurb when you're done on him.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So I got short area dominant, plucky handed, average physicality as a pass catcher, big slot receiver lacking in sustained vertical burst, projects as an NFL starter used as a presence in the slot who may not be a burner but will be effective at moving the chains and be a presence over the middle. The lack of a creative release package and physicality at the line is the main issue with placing him in a consistent outside role, which is why I projected more to be that big slot. Has some of the best blocking tape in the class based on technique and effort. He just must do so consistently. A team that uses a lot of pre-snap motion out of 11 personnel will be his ideal fit. And what do Shanahan, teams love to do? Pre-snap motion, right? Shanahan does it. LaFleur does it. McVay does it. Everyone should start doing it because it's a damn good thing. So I think he's a good fit. Cam Taylor-Britt, that's a solid pick for the Bengals.
I mean, you see Getsy do it as well, too. I mean, I think he's going to bring
I mean, that's that tree, man. That tree. Everyone who comes from that tree knows what they value.
Devontae Adams made a living off that in Green Bay.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. Because you can't cover it. You can't cover it. You can't account for everyone.
You remember the play that stands out to me as we talk about that is it was Packers Rams. I don't remember which week
in the playoffs. It was the playoffs.
Jalen Ramsey versus Devontae Adams, and Devontae, I think Jalen had him locked up all game. They ran a pre-snap motion. Devontae goes all the way across, and I think he just runs like a dig or something out to the outside and easy. Ramsey couldn't keep up.
Some people call it disco motion. Some people call it like comeback, orbit return, zip return, whatever. They'll just come motion here toward the ball. If the ball is over here, they're coming here and then back out. You can't cover it, right? That's a goal line play. Doesn't matter. You can use motion, however, but just in general, I think you'll love that. I think the Bears will love a guy like Justin Ross. I hope they draft him.
Yeah, man, it's just we'll see.
Was Breece Hall in the green room, or did he just drive to Las Vegas? What just happened?
So I don't know.
He
got drafted. I'm so confused.
In Las Vegas, but not at the draft.
No, he was in Vegas. He came out for the Jets pick. But now, why is he presenting a pick? Is he presenting a pick? What is he doing?
No, I don't know if he. I don't think he was in the green room. I think he was just in Las Vegas. Yeah, I think he was just in Vegas and just drove to the draft, and they gave him a cap.
What the freak?
Yeah, that make much sense to me. Okay.
Right? Okay. What are we doing? 48.
Is this their first pick of the draft?
So
they get.
For the Niners?
Yeah, they took someone earlier, right?
Did they? I'm not sure, actually.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, because their first round pick went to Miami. Whoever they traded up to get Trey Lance for. I think it was Miami. So this is their first pick of the draft. Yeah.
Was it Miami or Houston or something? Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah, it was Houston's original pick. Houston gave it to Miami, and then Miami gave it to San Francisco for Trey Lance. That third pick. All right, Breece Hall, I love you, but announce the damn pick.
Who cares, bro?
Announce the pick.
NFL player comparison. I don't care. Like, this happened already, bro. We did the comparisons for Breece Hall already. Let's move on. Figure it out. Plus, like, frick, man, we trying to get to this Bears pick. Let's
Yeah, man. Let's move along.
Dragon. I haven't even checked Twitter.
I like the Kyla Gordon pick. I really like the Kyla Gordon pick, man.
That one's growing on me the most. I'm gonna need to watch more about Brisker for that to grow on me, but that Gordon's growing on me. I like Cam Taylor-Britt. That's a good pick for the Bengals. That's why I had in my mock after a trade down.
To the Bears? Yeah, you did. That's right, you did.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm still a little worried, like, about the number of picks overall.
Mm-hmm.
With the 61st pick in the 2022 NFL.
I like this. He just gets straight to it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to tell a whole story like the other fucking guy.
Yeah. Drake Jackson, USC guy.
It's a good pick.
That is a good pick. I think he had medical. It was either medicals or character stuff, but he fell because of that. But everyone was talking about him as a first rounder in the summer. That's a big dude.
That's a big dude.
Those are some big arms.
He was driving without a seatbelt.
The whole corner.
He was driving without a Drake Jackson. Damn, what's going on with him and Pickens?
They were in the car together.
Yeah, man. The hell? I can't believe Nakobe Dean is still on the board. What happened?
Dude, talk about incriminating evidence. My Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever happened to Nakobe Dean, that's what I needed them to say what happened to Chris Olave. Damn.
Oh God, that cracks me up, man.
I did what I could.
You did what you could, man.
I did what I could.
He'll be good in New Orleans. Him and Chris Jameis Winston are gonna have a field day this year in the end zone.
Yeah.
Godly. It's just him and MT. That'll be fun.
Buckeyes, man.
Buckeyes.
New Orleans loves their Buckeyes, and
they do, don't they?
Yeah. LSU or Louisiana and Ohio got a connection.
Because who else? Lattimore and Malcolm Jenkins, and they do. Brian Cook. Okay, what do you think about that?
I didn't watch Brian Cook. I didn't get to a lot of.
Cal. What are you doing, man?
I know, man. I was slacking. Hey, I had to. School was getting a little weird at like the middle after the Senior Bowl. When I came back, I was like, "Oh shit, I got a lot of assignments to catch up on."
I hear you.
The draft on backlog, but this safety class and this corner class, I think, have to be the best. This corner class, especially, have to be the best of all time, man. Because there's still I like Mario Goodrich, in my opinion. Especially because just look at the top of it, right? Like Sauce, Stingley, McDuffie, Booth, Kyrie Elam, right? Like those five alone. And then, because I thought a guy like Darian Kendrick, was going to be a first-round pick after the playoff and the national championship. And then he had a horrible draft process, man. He was average in Mobile, if not below average. And then he tested awful, like some of the worst tests. And I was hyping him, man. I was like, I'm a Darian Kendrick guy. This guy's going to be a first rounder. I had a couple people co-signing that I trusted. And then he just fell off the face of the earth, man. It was crazy.
I mean,
he plays so much faster than what he ran. I don't get it.
2 interceptions in the college football playoff semifinal game, or college football playoff semifinal game, right? I think he had 2 against Michigan.
He did. He did have 2. Yep.
So everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're making plays in the biggest moments like that. You're gonna," and now people don't even think he's gonna get in the first or in the 5th round.
And he already had some off-field stuff because he had to leave Clemson, and I think he had like a charge for like having a gun in the car or something like that. So he was already going to be lower down because of that. But then the testing numbers just really killed him. But again, like that's a guy like someone's just going to draft him because they say, well, your tape was all right and you fell, so let's take you here.
Yeah.
I don't know who it'll be, but I still – Georgia's got some dudes that are falling for whatever reason, man. Kendrick has got the off-field. Pickens had the off-field. Dean must have medicals. It's a weird draft. Weird draft.
Because who tweeted about the medicals? It was
Albright tweeted about Nakobe Dean's medicals, and then Rappaport tweeted about Pickens in the car.
Right. So Albright doesn't know shit about Dean, does he?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like his sources are good. He just doesn't know ball, but I don't care about that.
Yeah.
The redesigned Chevy Silverado with a sophisticated high-tech interior. It's easy to forget it's a truck. That's truck. Find new stock. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
Springfest is back.
Man, damn these commercials. Just turn the damn card in.
Right now,
You're telling me, man. All right. 8 more picks. Denver, Jacksonville, Minnesota, New York, Cleveland, Tennessee, Jacksonville again. Jacksonville doesn't need a receiver. Denver doesn't. Minnesota doesn't. Cleveland doesn't. Tennessee doesn't. It's going to be your threats for taking a receiver could be New York and Cleveland, maybe? Is that it?
Yeah, but I think that's it.
God, let's start to Calvin Austin. Okay, so here, I'll ask you this then. Calvin Austin or Justin Ross at 71?
Justin Ross for me.
Yeah.
Just because I think he's safer. Just because Calvin, you're betting on a lot of like down to down consistent separation because obviously he's not winning any jump balls.
It's wild to say that Ross is safer though, given the injuries. Am I right?
I know, right? I know. I think safety is in like a guy that if assuming they both get on the field, right, who's a guy that you can get some more production out of, then I think we'll say Justin Ross. But
yeah.
I'm fine with either. I really am. And then people are going to be like, oh, if they take Calvin Austin, you're probably going to have to be the main defender because people are going to be like, he's 5'7". What the hell are we doing? Oh,
right, exactly. He's not that small, is he?
I think he's like 5'7", 5'8".
Oh.
Go ahead, look it up.
I thought he was like 5'10". That might be a little high though. Hey, he's 5'8".
5'8".
He ran the fastest 40 in the draft though, didn't he? Or no, second fastest. I think it was Thornton and then him.
Not Thornton, his teammate, Kalen Barnes.
Yeah. That's right. What position does Barnes play again?
He's a corner. He's a boundary corner.
You know, I actually did like the safety out of Baylor, JT
Woods.
Yeah, I liked him, but they're not going to go safety again. Sure. So we'll see. But
Calvin Austin 4.32 with the combine.
The Bills took a run, bro. When are the Bills going to learn, man? You don't need to take a running back in the first 8 rounds, bro.
Yeah.
You don't need to take a running back in the first 5 rounds.
And Singletary wasn't bad for them last year.
He wasn't bad, but is he worth what he was chosen at? I mean, Daekwon
no, probably
10 times better than him.
Oh, absolutely. But no, you're right. You don't have to take a running back every so often because Moss is not good, and
they have Breida.
Yeah, they got Breida.
I guess my hot take. Wow, look at him catching some passes out wide there. But
yeah, he is like Dalvin.
Oh, it's Dalvin's brother.
Yeah, it's Dalvin's little brother.
About that. I was like, these guys run the same.
Yeah.
My hot take of the draft is the Bears take a running back at some point, maybe 6th round.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Think about it. You're not re-signing Dave Montgomery next year.
Yeah.
And I'm fine going into next year with Khalil Herbert, but you need another guy as well. And if you go into next year with Khalil Herbert and maybe Hassan Haskins or the kid from Alabama, blanking on the name.
Brian Robinson.
I don't really love him, but he can play a little bit. He's not fast though.
He came on toward the end of the season.
He came on, but he ran like a 4.5 40, and he plays that speed. The tape doesn't lie when it comes to that speed. I don't know. It just makes sense. But because they haven't acquired more picks, I don't know if you can afford to draft a running back, because they haven't acquired more. So, and you're not
Bonito is a good football player.
Nick Bonito. He was supposed to be higher, wasn't he?
That's a good fit for the Broncos. That's a really good fit for them. he's a pure stand-up guy, but nobody dips and bends the corner like he does in the class. He's just not as like bursty or strong. Doesn't hold up against the run.
Yeah.
I loved him. He wouldn't have been a good fit for the Bears though.
Yep.
And they needed it. He led college football in pressure rate last season. The Broncos were last in the NFL in pass rush win rate last year. And so
Perrion Winfrey still on the board?
Yep.
Interesting. Nakobe Dean, Perrion Winfrey. Malik Willis is still there?
Yeah, Willis is still
What's
there.
going on?
I don't know, man. I have no idea what's happening.
Just taking a break to honor America.
Are they going to announce the pick? Maybe not.
Who's even on the clock? Or I guess they might take a break before round 3 starts.
I don't think so. I think they keep it open all through round 2 and
That's what I
close
thought.
it at the end of the night.
According to PFF, Jaquan Brisker only 1 touchdown allowed in 962 career coverage snaps.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Sounds real good to me. Jack selecting Luke Fortner.
Who? Who?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Who is Luke Fortner? I'm sorry. I just don't know. Center
from Kentucky.
Dude, what is it with Kentucky this year, man? Wow.
Don't ask me about him or Josh Pascal. I don't know. I do not know.
Wow. Wait, did the Falcons take Troy Anderson?
Falcons took Troy Anderson.
That's what my friend said. I hate this. I hate this team. He's like, that over Nakobe Dean?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Dean.
We're going to get a tweet from Rappaport in 2 hours. Like, Nakobe Dean caught, doing a line in the bathroom of a girl's house or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something not good. Some obscure headline. We're going to look at it and be like, what the what?
Right. Wow. Minus 20 turn.
Nakobe Dean slaps baby in grocery store.
Nakobe Dean sliding because he's a Q. That's what it is.
Oh, God.
Yes, because the athletic traits are something that a lot of scouts and personnel people get enamored with, and that they feel as though as long as you go to the right place, we can coach the rest of it out of you. As long as you're willing to commit to the process, commit to the grind, we can surround you with talent, then we can get it out. Somewhere, people are not.
I'm just waiting for that next Malik Willis tweet. Hey,
I know, man.
Patient,
He's still in the green room. Him and Corral are both still in the green room.
I know. That's
so
got to be
crazy.
the most awkward thing when you're in the green room and then you don't get drafted at all.
Yeah.
Brian
and so like
to the Vikings.
Okay. Weird. I mean, they already have a ton of young linebackers. They got Surratt and Troy died, but okay. This is what the Vikings do. This is exactly why you said you never fear the Vikings, because they just do stuff. You're just like, okay, or whatever.
Right. Okay. You want to go take Ryan Asamoah? Okay. Who'd they take earlier? I forget.
They got Booth. They got Andrew Booth. And they got
right.
Willis last night. So those are two good players. But, like, again, as a Bears fan, it's just like you never fear the Vikings. You're never like, yeah, those guys. I mean, it'll be a game when we play them. Like, it'll be close no matter what.
Duval. Here's a quote from Kyla Gordon. I want you to know that when I come to Soldier Field and I'm there, I just want it to be live and popping. I want to interact with y'all. I want to get turned.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
All right.
That's what the young guys are all about now, as you should be. You should want the fans to be in it. Defense especially feeds off of fan energy.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be like that.
Offense can't, all the way because they need to be a little bit quiet so they can actually hear what the hell the quarterback's saying, right? But the defense, you can be as loud as you want. So that leaves New York, Cleveland, Tennessee, Jacksonville ahead of us. Man. Wow. Giants took Joshua Zudu.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Offensive lineman from North Carolina. I only know him because he was projected to be a 5th round pick.
I scouted. I got a report on a lineman from North Carolina. It was not him. It was Marcus McKeithen. He's got like 37-inch arms and plays guard. Insane, but just like he's a waist bender. Probably be a 7th rounder.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fun player to watch just because he's so big at guard. Usually you see guys that big at tackle. But
yeah. Is this one of those things where, people don't know why Nakobe Dean is sliding and everyone just thinks that there's a reason? Or
like a Bo, whatever his name was from draft day. It's like, why is he sliding? Yeah,
Bo, what was it? What was that guy's name?
I do not remember that guy's name.
Fuck. That's gonna kill me. I love that movie. Is that you're referencing the movie?
Yeah.
Dude, why do people shit on that movie? I think it's great.
I think it's just because it's so unrealistic, but it is Bo Callahan.
Chadwick Boseman was great in that movie too, man.
Whoever, no matter what. Justin Ross, no matter what.
I'm gonna put out a tweet real quick of that Post-it note. I'm gonna edit that real quick. Give me a second. Justin Ross. I'm so weak.
Monty Toomer was drafted in 1996. I'm getting old, man.
All right. Oh, we're only 4 picks away, bro.
Yeah, we're getting there. I'm sure Cleveland's pick is probably in by now, too.
It's got to be. Have they ever stopped the NFL draft rounds 2 or 3 for an NBA playoff game?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think so. Because usually I stay on ESPN.
So weird.
Inside, I think that will give him a chance. Outside, it's going to be overmatched. Inside and guard, I think has a chance to be a good player.
Owen Krutz walked off set at the Brisker pick. Who did he want?
I don't know.
Is he still on NBC? Does he not do that anymore?
He's on CHGO. My guy Nicholas Moriano and Adam Hoger over there with him. I'll ask him why he walked off.
Damn, Sam Howell. That's got to be awkward.
Who just took him?
No. His family. He's just sitting there. They're just showing his draft party, and like, no one's. He hasn't been drafted. Everyone's just sitting there waiting.
And he ain't gonna get drafted. What do they expect, bro?
Yeah, he'll probably be tomorrow. That's unfortunate because they really set that guy up. His freshman year, they were like, "Yeah, Sam Howell, a couple years down the line, he's gonna be the first overall pick." And then
I do remember those days.
Yeah.
Man. Your team is on the street. It's wild.
You need to scout some new career prospects. An Indeed resume gets right to work for you. It helps you adapt your skills and make sure you stand out. So you can
I really wanted Pickens, but I'm okay. I'm okay.
Bro, come on.
I'll be all right. We'll get to 71, and we'll get Justin Ross, and I'll be all right.
It's always been Justin Ross.
That's crazy. The Browns traded away 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. I mean, I thought it's like it's not worth it, but that's so many. It's so many picks.
It's so many. All right. Justin Ross, no matter what.
Let's do it.
Come on, baby.
Did Olin want Pickens? Or are you going to ask them?
I think he wanted wide receiver. Probably Pickens. And look, come on, Olin, you're better than that, bro. That's casual. Like, you're walking off the set for that. Like, I can understand walking off the set for, like, Adam Shaheen 5 years ago, but you don't have to walk off the set, or even Cole Kmet. You don't have to walk off the set for Jaquan Brisker. Come on, dude. Like, who'd you want? Like,
I still get my nerves over the Shaheen pick. That was rough. Pick is in. All right, we're only 3 picks away.
I know. I'm gonna check Twitter real quick. Brown selecting Martin Emerson. Did we check that already?
From Mississippi State.
Offensive lineman.
Oh, wait, what?
Oh, Titans selecting Petit Frere.
Oh, the Titans are? Oh, nice. All right.
Oh, you know what? I fucking knew that was going to – I have a video of this. I have a video of Mike Vrabel literally, like, watching Nicholas Petit-Frere like this at Pro Day. Like,
at Pro Day?
Dude, he was, like, critiquing him. He was talking with him. I could have told you that.
He was already his coach, yeah.
So obvious.
Yeah, you gotta tweet that out now.
I don't think I had the video
First source, Georgia Nakobe Dean declined surgery on his shoulder, and it's now a major concern / medical red flag.
Shane says if people go defense again.
I'll freak out if they go defense. Then I might walk off set.
I will. I even if it's a Nakobe Dean? Yeah, even if it's bro, you'd have the best defense in the league in 3 years.
Yeah.
If you picked up a good free agent or two. Who the hell is this guy?
The Miz. WWE. You ever heard of The Miz?
Not a WWE guy.
2022 NFL Draft. The 2023 Super Bowl winning.
Calling his shot. All right.
Yeah, all right, bro.
All right. So 70, Jacksonville's up, and then it's us. Okay.
Jacksonville pick's probably about to come in real soon. Some guy tweets, "The Miz is loud." Oh yeah. Oh.
Not entirely incorrect.
He's a CB. My bad. The guy who tweeted that said O-line. I don't know why. He's CB. Ian Rappaport. One of the biggest surprises through 2 rounds is that Georgia star linebacker Nakobe Dean has not been selected. The injury to his pec is one reason why. I just like to slur my words.
Okay.
Interesting.
With that kind of experience on the Mississippi State team where in practice just sitting throw it all over the yard, the SEC are going up against some big-time receivers. The length, I think, for Martin Emerson will give him a chance to be maybe a third corner and possibly a starter down the road. All right, back to the stage, and the Tennessee Titans are ready to select again.
Dude, I just don't know. It's like I wouldn't sit here being mad if they took Dean.
Jefferson can tighten up. All right.
Hey.
Everybody knows night 2 is where the real action happens.
That's right. He's an actor. He's on a show that I really loved.
Chicago Bears Twitter going to be a dark place when they go defense again at 71.
He did not just say that.
What did he just say?
He said we're the 69th pick. Hello.
I thought he was going to say nice.
Hey, they got OSU guy.
NPF.
It's a good pick.
That is a good pick.
Dude, why did I say mock draft for 2023 that said Paris Johnson was going to be the 10th overall pick? That can't be right, can it?
Maybe. People like Paris Johnson. I just saw him in Union the other day, actually, walking.
Dude, he's a journalism major. He, works for the Lantern. He, writes stories for the Lantern. He's always in the newsroom. He's
going to switch to tackle, too, probably.
Cool. You think?
Yeah, he'll probably move out because they'll probably move him to left, keep Taekwon at right, and then Whippler and Donovan Jackson and Matt Jones. Is it Matt Jones up there inside? Or whoever. I know you got those four: Dewan, Paris, Donovan Jackson, and Whippler. Harry Miller's not on the team anymore.
I played Whippler in basketball yesterday or last week.
How is he? Is he athletic?
He's athletic, but he's not good at basketball.
I feel like a name like Luke Whippler is not a basketball name.
Cade Stover was good. I'll tell you that.
All right. I think it's about time for me to stand up. We're one pick away.
Pick is in. All right, we're on the clock. Dude, holy shit.
Okay.
All right, I'm not checking Twitter. Are you?
Nope. No, I'm not.
Hey, it's Justin Ross, baby.
Gotta be offense. I'm trying to think if it's not Justin Ross, I'm trying to think who it is, and I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer.
I gotta turn off my notifications for a second.
Nah, I just threw my phone down. This is when I start pacing. I have to stand and pace during Bears games.
Dude, literally.
I do the same thing during the draft.
Come on, baby. Justin Ross, no matter what. Hey, Jalen Tolbert, though.
I would like Ross a lot more than Tolbert.
I would like Ross a lot more than Tolbert, but I wouldn't be upset.
They do have to go receiver. Or they have to go offense. They got to go offense.
Sky Moore's off the board. We're safe.
Sky Moore's off the board.
I'm fine
with Calvin Austin, too. I'm fine.
Oh, it was like my concern the Bears would take Mac Jones at
15 or 11 when they traded up. Yes. Yeah, I was kind of scared. My roommate at the time was like, what if it's Mac Jones? I was like, don't you fucking put that evil on me, dude.
Don't put that evil on me. Oh, is that what's his face? Mel Kiper talking about Nakobe Dean?
What'd you say?
Was that Mel Kiper just? I'm on NFL Network. Was that Mel Kiper talking about Nakobe Dean to the Bears?
I think so. No, I think he's just talking about the durability concerns. I guess he is talking about the Bears.
Let's go, baby. Come on. Give us somebody good here, man. Give us somebody good.
Give me somebody good.
Oh, they're on the phone. Who are they on the phone with? Better be Justin Ross. Pick his in, baby.
Pick his in?
Come on. Who's that on the phone right now? I'm trying to see who it is. It was always Justin Ross. It was always him.
The pick is in.
I can't be upset if they go Dean, but it's not going to be him.
I don't think so.
Velus Jones.
Yes. Really, of all the players on their defense, from 17 sort of ball, I mean, he just sort of all the time. All the time. Downhill, dump for his side. He's one of the best pitchers on their defense. For his side. Sideline to sideline player. Extremely smart. Extremely instinctive. No false steps. He's getting to the spot.
Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You're not going in next year with Equinemius St. Brown, Brian Pringle, Daz Newsome, and Darnell Mooney. You're not.
No, you can't.
I won't. Am I ahead of you? I don't know. I won't react to it.
I think you're a little bit ahead of me.
I won't react to it.
With the 71st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Velus Jones.
No. 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 What are you doing? No. 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 No.
Certainly can make plays in the passing game, catching the football. Great punt returner out to settle be a 25-year-old rookie. You think about what he's able to do.
25-year-old rookie.
Oh my God. 25.
If it means anything, Velus Jones ran a faster 40 than Calvin Austin at the combine. But that's about all I got. I didn't watch Velus Jones. I saw him at the Senior Bowl, but I don't remember him standing out.
Yes. Okay. Before look, if people are gonna save these receipts for years down the road when Velus Jones is an All-Pro, I say no a million times because I wanted to be Justin Ross. You're right. I haven't done my due diligence on Velus Jones Jr. here. The stats are there. 2 kickoff return TDs, 120 receptions, 1,434 yards, 11 touchdowns. You talk about his speed, right? What did he run at the combine?
4.31. 4.31.
That's fast, man.
That is
I
fast.
hope they didn't just fall in love with the speed because you can't do that. Look, it's not a guy out of Ashland University. You're coming from an established school. Let's see. Okay.
We'll live with it, man. We'll live with it.
So he's 5'11", 204. He's got good weight for his size. He's got great weight for his size. For him to be that fast at that weight at that size is pretty impressive. Top Gear can separate from anyone. They're saying he's smooth. He's comfortable running the vertical route. Experience and production as a punt and kick returner. That definitely had a little bit to do with it. Route tree is limited, they say. They say he's more of a deep ball receiver or a screen guy. But, hey, I mean, you have to think about – you talk about tailoring to the strengths of your players. Justin Fields is one of the best deep ball throwers in the league, in my opinion, still, although he's played 1 year. I think based off of his college numbers, he has the ability to be that. And this is a guy who's going to be a threat in that area. So, transferred to Tennessee in 2020, 6-year player, added a year because of COVID eligibility. Damn. I don't know, man. I'm not content with just that, though. Like, you can't walk away from this draft, in my opinion, with just Velus Jones Jr. Like, I think you have to trade up. I don't know. You have to trade up for Justin Ross or something. I don't know. Like, are you content with just that? You can't be.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't know. Let me see. I'm looking up.
In 15 years, you drink about 15,000 cups of coffee. So we created new Optic White Pro Series toothpaste with the power to remove 15 years of stains for Pro Series.
Struggles to get in and out of sharp cuts, limits his separation ability, projects as a deep threat who can get on the field for shot plays or clear outs. Speed and competitive should make him a good gunner.
7.27.
A good gunner.
Yeah.
Awesome. Special teams guy. God damn it, dude.
Yeah. Well, gotta live with it, but not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea.
Okay, so before we close out, obviously we aren't staying. Maybe we'll go live tomorrow, but they don't have another pick till the 5th round. They've got 2 of them almost back to back, 148, 150, and then they got a 6th rounder. They need, in my opinion, to move up. I'm sorry, you have to move up. What do you think? What do they have to do now? Because that was uninspiring for me there in the 3rd round.
Yeah, got to do something. Got to do something. I mean, unless you think for sure you've got a guy on day 3 who you really like, and you think he's going to stay there. But yeah, I'm not content with that. If it makes sense.
Trade a pick next year. If that's what it costs, trade a pick next year. Trade both of the 5th round picks to move. I don't care. Like, you have to go get Justin Ross. I don't know. You had to find a way. That's just not good enough, man. That is just not good enough. God. Would you rather have had Calvin Austin?
Yeah. Calvin Austin, I think, has better hands, and he's also not 25.
God damn it, man.
Washington State.
His pro comparison is Devin Duvernay. Awesome.
So a return man.
That's a bad pick. It's not a good pick. I'm sorry. It's not a good pick. That pick deserves a C- in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe even a D. That is not a good pick. With Calvin Austin on the board and Justin Ross on the board and Jalen Tolbert, that is a bad pick. God damn it. Hey, they wanted fast, explosive players. That's what they wanted, but to me,
you better be able to get the most out of those guys, man. Because
to me, it's just like, I don't know, like the thing that scares me about Velus Jones, from what I've read, again, I can't give a full scouting report. I haven't watched enough. It seems like he's one-dimensional. Like, it seems like he can run a go route really well, and he can return the ball really well. What else can he do for you, right?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on now? Who the hell is this guy on stilts? Like, the draft, just end the draft, bro. The Bears picked, like, they made a bad pick. We just end.
Oh, they fell!
Oh my god! Oh my god, he's injured. Wait, this is actually bad.
I think that was.
Oh, that was scripted. Damn it! I wanted that to be real.
Are you sure? Oh yeah, the Cheeky Boyos comedy duo.
All right, we'll talk more tomorrow.
Oh, I gotta run.
Man, let's sit on it. Fuck. Hey, it was fun though, man. It was
fun.
That kind of
went for almost 3 hours. Yeah, it was rough.
But overall, it was a good time, man. We got some good second rounders, and we'll discuss more. We'll do some breakdowns. Maybe we'll do a breakdown of Velus Jones Jr. We'll do them all.
Yeah.
But all right, brother. Good stuff.
We'll
Bear
talk
down, man.
more.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bear down. All right.